More than anything though, like I'm pretty happy with the draft for us, for ourselves, and that's what we focus on, just getting our comforts. I think they have a very good draft as well though. But yeah.
Extremely meta picks coming out from them, but you guys seem to be playing your own game in this tournament. You know, you guys are picking your own heroes, having a good time. The Warlock, the Pudge, of course, very, very hype. Is that kind of the strategy going in, especially with a team like Falcons, who many would, you know, consider the favorites for the tournament?
Yes, for sure. I mean, something I said before we came here was that no matter what, we need to play our own game. We can't go to this tournament and expect that we can outplay these guys who are a couple of steps ahead of us. Try to create our own meta, which I think we have. But we will learn a lot. No matter what, we're going to learn a lot from this series. Like, if this game doesn't go our way, we're going to switch it up for the next one. And I think it's going to be an enjoyable series.
Absolutely. I'm very excited to see how it goes. And I'm sure you guys won't learn anything because you're going to dumpster Falcons. And you're going to keep it on. So let's go into the game and check in with our casters.
Thank you so much, Slacks. Always good to hear that you're going to learn something. We'll see if they do indeed learn today. But how you doing, man? You feeling good about this series?
Oh, yeah.
We get to see the Alliance come together with the Pudge pick. Always love to see that.
Yeah, so I was saying before this series that I think the majority of people out there, including us in the green room, were like, yeah, Falcons are probably favored to take this 2-0. But I've been saying I wouldn't be surprised to see Alliance take a game here. I feel like the playstyle that they showed yesterday and overall the trajectory that they're on and the fact that they're playing different stuff that, you know, you can look at this from the perspective of Falcons of, yeah, we got a lot of the stuff we're good with, we have meta picks, but I don't think they have a lot of experience playing against Pudge and Warlock, right?
Oh, yeah.
So there's something to be said about bringing something new to the table that other teams don't have practice against. That obviously doesn't mean that Falcons don't know how to deal with it because they're an extremely experienced and very skilled team, but there will probably be some situations where, you know, you get caught out by a hook you maybe didn't expect, or you get surprised by how strong the lanes are.
Oh, and Amar goes down. First blood drawn by Nande. Exactly what you're talking about. You know, you run this bristleback, you think of it as this answer to the Pudge, all this minus armor and physical damage against this hero that doesn't have a ton of it, but they can deal out a lot of damage pretty quick.
How often do you see Amar dying level 1?
Not often.
Right? It's, you know, let's take it easy here, one step at a time, right?
No,
but
I don't want
obviously, a good start, a good start here for Alliance. And I will say, it's always for me, it's always a treat to cast Pudge. I think this hero it's one of my favorite heroes in Dota of all time. I think it's super iconic. I think it makes moments in every game. Whether those moments are all right, he's popping off, or haha, he's missing 7 hooks in a row. The hero will always, you know, there's always a story with this.
Oh, yeah.
And Nande, in general, on this hero has been looking extremely good. And not just in this tournament where he did play it yesterday, but just in general, I think he plays one of the best safe lane Pudges in the world. I guess there isn't too much competition because not many people play it, but he plays it very well,
right?
Is what I'm getting at. So, yeah, let's see how that goes. I share the sentiment of the panel, by the way, about bot lane. I think that's the biggest concern here for Alliance, is they're playing into Ench SF. I think this lane is extremely strong in this current patch, and Snake King plays a mean Ench. Skitter Shadow Fiend, not something we see too much of in general, but
no,
he's a very formidable carry player. He can run what needs to be run.
I will say it is a Skylark classic, the Slardar. I feel like I've seen him play this hero a bunch of times, and definitely fits the style of how he likes to play Dota, of just jump in there, get aggressive, make this stuff happen. And on the other side, it's Kadaro playing on the Warlock. So able to get some of the Fatal Bonds damage out there, and then of course just making sure that Pudge can stay survivable in that lane.
A nice contrast there. Skylark really likes to get in there and play aggressive, and then we have Kadaro on Warlock, who's arguably the most passive hero in all of Dota. Desire will be brought down here. So the problem for Slardar here is, you're right, this hero's bread and butter is playing aggressive and getting in there, but you're playing against Enchant, and you're playing against triple Rays. It's very difficult to play aggressive in this lane as Slardar, so I think what you're going to settle for is trying to get farm. And just, you know, try to build yourself a little bit of a game out of a laning stage that you should lose. Want to also mention mid. This was a first pick Nature's Prophet from Alliance, unsurprisingly. This hero is very, very powerful right now, and they're not the only team to rate it this high. But Falcons with the first pick Pango for themselves. This has not been rated this highly by other teams, and of course, both Malrine as well as Amar play this hero very well. And I'm just wondering if this is a sign of times to come that, well, now the meta heroes got nerfed again, so it was a good month without Pango first pick. And now Falcons are like, we're back to the old ways.
You got to bring it back.
I guess we'll see.
I mean, it has been rising up the ranks for sure, and this big switch up, of course, has been for a very long time. Pango has played with that double jump, now going much more often for these Thunderbolts.
Yeah, that's true.
And I've seen a couple of people already get sort of caught off guard and not anticipate, you know, how strong this be. Oh, Water Rune deny and Bounty Rune deny. That is nice. Nande, he's getting low. Is he going to be able to run down crit first? The snowball. Nande still in trouble. Ends up falling. Kadaro trying to stand tall against Crit Namar. I don't know if that one's going to work, although with the Fatal Bonds and the double hit, maybe it's going to be enough. Can he get them both? Oh, Kadaro! What a god! All right, he's the carry now. Get out of here, Pudge. This guy's getting Ag's Refresher in no time.
And Kadaro, I think, if I'm not mistaken, basically always takes the Black Grimoire facet, which gives him the book that he can use after 7 minutes to get experience per kill / assist he's got. This one already has 3 charges on it now after those kills, so there's 750 XP going his way if he wants to come minute 7. He could basically crack level 6 7 minutes into the game on a Warlock. Or he could hold on to it for later, but I think what Kadaro usually does is pop it instantly, get that fast golem, and look for a fight Nande. Some damage here. Are they just going to dive him? They're going to get reinforcements.
Yeah, they're moving people in. They have fully committed for this, and this is a little bit of an overextension as everybody is going to die. Nande does fall, but they managed to take down 2 beforehand, and yeah, look at the book. It's getting bigger.
Yeah. This might be the best Grimoire he's had minute 5 in an official match. This is a very unusual that Warlock will have this many assists or kills at this stage of the game, so looking good for him. Now, for the side of Falcons, both their mid and safe lane are doing very well here. Malrine will now crack his level 6 on the Pango, so that opens up a total new avenue of play. And of course, this is the luxury you have with safe lane Shadow Fiend against Slardar. You give him a head start, Ench went through the gate, and there's no like concern that this is going to cost in your safe lane. The Shadow Fiend can play this lane on his own with 0 worries here on
mid,
out.
This is a huge problem. They are setting up, it looks like, for SF, but the big issue is that they took over the tree, and they also have the catapult. So this tower, if they don't rejoin, they're going to take the whole thing.
Yeah,
move forward.
Ench against Nature's Prophet getting the Greater Treant is
over. That's
a
tower.
Big problem. You actually have to be very wary of this as Mobe. Unfortunately, this is probably the worst thing, the worst time in the game that it can happen, and now that you've learned your lesson, it's kind of too late. But you have to be very wary of where Enchantress is when you're spawning this Treant, because yeah, if she takes that over, you lose a tower. It's
like the old days when you used to be able to enchant catapults. Getting 2 of those.
It actually is. Yep, that's a very good comparison.
Wow.
Skylark.
They move in for the crush and now going to roll forward thinking about it. Skylark does get away. Meanwhile, a battle going on for the Wisdoms. Kadaro wants it. He's quick, though, with the Thunderbolt. Malrine comes in, swipes that one away, and is going to be able to find the kill. Now, Warlock could pop his book for 6 if he wants. He does it. Doesn't have mana. Now has the Golem. But, oh, he could block off his path, maybe?
Don't think he's going to go for this.
Crush.
Maybe.
They got a chance. Jumps away. Golem down. Do they have enough to kill off Malrine? Trying desperately.
Requiem.
Skitter. Requiem of Souls goes out. Pushes them into the corner. Double Rays looking for a third. It is enough for Nande to die up top as Desire goes down, and Kadaro also going to the grave.
They're so low!
It's not enough.
Yeah,
it's not
Malrine
quite
isn't
there.
bound to them with the Fatal Bond, so Skitter will survive too.
Well,
that felt like it could have been such an insane moment for Alliance if Mobe could have connected on the Nature's Prophet to that play.
Yeah.
But I think he had already teleported top to try to help the Pudge, and it's clear that Falcons are communicating this as part of the play.
Yes.
The Nature's Prophet wildcard there would have given them 2 or 3 kills down bot.
He went for the other
he stole the
round.
Wisdom. I see. Okay, so yeah, either way, teleport was unavailable. And I mean, that is a high impact play. I don't blame him at all for stealing the Wisdom. I think that's massively important, especially because if that doesn't happen, Desire's game is, I mean, it's already rough enough on the Willow being almost only level 4, minute 8.
Right.
Warlock's fine. Don't worry about him. he's okay, but you want those levels on the Willow.
I mean, maybe that's one of those things, too, where it's like, if they had had that, I mean, maybe they did have the communication, but obviously not having the teleport available changes the way that that fight could have gone.
Or if he had Wrath of Nature.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
That could have also been a huge difference maker.
Still 2,000 gold lead at 8.5 minutes in. This is not an insurmountable lead by any stretch of the imagination, but you can see Skylark definitely the one that, as was predicted, is having a bit of a tough time in this lane.
That is the biggest problem of this game for Alliance, and the biggest thing that Falcons have done right is making sure they win this safe lane as hard as possible with the outpick that they have going on down here. In addition to that, they now have 2 triple stacks for Amar, so his game is also going to start looking up very quickly here on the Bristle.
Oh, that's a lot of gold.
He's taking what he can. I don't know if he's able to actually take the whole thing here.
And in the meantime,
Dismember.
he's going to lose a... Oh, snowball off to the side.
He's dead.
Doesn't matter. They have enough for the kill. Now chasing on the Kadaro. Does have heal back up again, 3 points in it, but with Thunderbolt, it's not going to be enough.
It looks so weird to see Pangos roll this fast.
It's kind of cool, though. I like it.
Yeah.
Oh, he's almost got the Virtuous Dale back up again. Don't die to the creeps. It's a bad look.
Yeah, this one got nerfed in this patch. The max duration went from 14 to 8. So for this kind of purpose where you're just farming stacks, it is weaker. But still, it's still a great neutral item. The HP regen is just so good, and the health. And you could even argue that with the nerfs that we see to especially Bracer, that this neutral item gets even better by comparison because of the 150 flat health, and Bracer being that bit less appealing to buy because it doesn't scale into minute 25. We are, I believe, going to see this item a lot still, the Seats of Serenity. It's looking good for Falcons, though. 3K lead, mid and bottom tower are down. I guess the next natural move is to look for a smoke play with an inch creep and try to take the top tower after killing Pudge. You would imagine they want to bring Tusk +1 for this play, either the Pango or the Bristle. And I see no reason for Skitter to move. I think, you know, just keep building yourself up. You have a totally free lane. You can keep retreating to the jungle if you feel like too many enemy heroes are missing, which you should feel now, but maybe it's too late.
Yeah, they move in.
It is too late.
The big crush is out.
Big kill.
Will be brought down. They also are scanning at the same time, seeing that people are over by the gate. So this is the nice play. Falcons don't really manage to make the move out in time, and Alliance are going to take the tier 1 tower.
Yep.
Does cost them a golem.
It's well worth it. They strike first. Because they made this move, Nande doesn't die top because he gates to bot. He's realizing, okay, if Shadow Fiend is completely alone here, they're going for me top, so he's just getting out of there. And effectively, Alliance now, they trade towers, but they get the biggest hero on the map killed in that Shadow Fiend, and they get to find a new, like, stable area to play in. So I think that's a pretty good result for them. Nature's Prophet now with a Maelstrom. So going to see Mobe start ramping up a bit.
I do have a question in terms of this game. Obviously, our first look at Falcons post-TI, there's been a lot of questions. How are they going to respond to, you know, what happened there? Based upon their movement so far and what you've seen, you feeling like it's the same old Falcons? As Mobe is going to get ran at, pushed up to high ground? No! Can't quite get there. Walrus Punch onto the Nature's Prophet. Still in the corner, but the snowball up to the high ground. This is not the way they wanted it to go.
Sprout.
Blocks him off. And Shards off cooldown, but he gets the Drinky Buddies down to the low ground. Nonetheless, Nande manages to find here onto Malrine, has the hook ready if he jumps away. Misses the hook.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. They'll manage to find that
Big
kill.
kills.
So I'll ask you again after that team fight, as they just lost it.
I mean, so far so good, I would say, for Falcons. We obviously didn't see them play yesterday because, unfortunately, Nigma were unable to field a full roster yesterday for the game.
Right.
But yeah, you know, you could have concerns. Okay, are Falcons going to be chilling? Did they take a bit of a break after TI? And I'm sure some of their players did. But I believe as soon as TI ended, Amar and Malrine in particular, these guys just breathe Dota. Like, they play it non-stop, basically. So they were straight back in there. I think the other players might have taken a bit of a break, but warmed up for this tournament. There was a lot of data on them playing many pubs, at least.
Yeah.
Can't speak for their scrims. We obviously don't know that. But honestly, I think what they're showing so far looks pretty solid. I'll say Alliance have played a good early game here, which is why it's pretty close.
Yeah.
Given that the entire net worth lead is Slardar, right? Or actually even more than that. So if it wasn't for this Slardar pick and him suffering so much in lane, he's 1-0 and 2. I mean, Skylark, it's admirable. He hasn't even died.
Yeah.
But the hero just won't find that much farm when the lane is hard. It's not a good recovery hero. You don't jungle very well. You can't really take stacks. So inherently, it just has some shortcomings in that regard. But he's closing in on a Blink double bracer. And hopefully for him, he can do the job he needs to for his team. And always, of course, Corrosive Haze is an amazing tool against tanky heroes such as the Bristleback.
Kadaro here just going to be left to the Wolves. That does set up for a steal
Double wisdom
on the side, yeah.
Mobe was thinking about teleporting into the top one, but Skitter was actually prepping up the Requiem on top of the Wisdom rune. And yeah, he decided against teleporting either way, so this is a big win for Falcons. 2 Wisdoms, minute 14 is huge. And we'll see what they plan to do next. Still a pretty even game, and I guess something to keep in mind, there's a reason Warlock isn't a popular hero, right?
Yeah.
Many teams never run this. I think Alliance might even be the only team this tournament that have played this hero, or at least it's been very few games aside from them. It's a very long cooldown ult, and it's a hero that's very one-dimensional. It team fights, but it doesn't skirmish well. Oh, hang on, snaking. And they get the brambles? No.
Can't quite connect.
So what I'm getting at here with Warlock is this hero needs a specific type of fights and a specific type of gameplay to be effective. If Alliance can force these 5-man engagements where they get Fatal Bonds and they use the Pudge Ags to do a ton of AoE damage and Wrath of Nature, he can have massive impact. But what do they do if Falcons start playing more skirmish heavy and don't group up?
Well,
what
they're already going to find a nice pick off here. This is kind of perfect.
That's a good start.
Can they find more after the fact? Kadaro, they spot the SF. I mean, I guess one answer to that is something that Slardar excels at, which is going in and just taking Roche, securing these other objectives.
Yeah.
And that might be the pathway here for Alliance. They're up in this side of the map. There is still an Enchantress in the area, but oh, that was unfortunate.
It's a good point, actually. Forcing Roche here will give you a Warlock fight.
Yeah.
You want to... This hero wants 5v5s. It's that simple. And obviously, if you threaten a key objective on the map and the enemy team feel like they have to respond, that's a big help already. Now, the Pango matchup for Warlock is really tricky, though. Even if you're playing in the pit, because, you know, especially with Thunderbolt, he can just connect on you in the backline, he can ruin your fight. I guess Kadaro isn't even playing with Upheaval, so not the biggest of deals that if he gets interrupted on that, but it can be hard to find your footing in the fight, get a good position for the Fatal Bonds, get a good Golem down if you get cut off. Same thing can be said with Ench and the Creep just getting vision. Finding Warlock a lot of the time is half the job in the fight. But, well, for now things are just going to calm down and we will continue farming. And all in all, I don't really have a clear favorite late game here.
Yeah.
Pudge is an insane late gamer. You don't underestimate this hero if he gets farmed, and Nande's farm is looking solid. Nature's Prophet should, you know, ultimately scale really hard as well. His Gleipnir is now complete, so despite this item being nerfed, you will still see it on certain heroes, Nature's Prophet being one of them. Yeah, I genuinely think Alliance are still in a pretty good position in this game.
Yeah.
And ultra late game, when it does come down to it, generally speaking, late games will have some sort of 5-on-5s, right?
Yes.
So your Warlock will find value, and all it takes is for you to set things up with a good Blink Crush into Brambles, and then maybe you can get a Golem and build a fight around it. Now, Falcons will be the ones taking the Roche after this.
This is a little bit rough, too, because if you look at the area that they're walking into, they're all going to be under some wards. They do manage to get a D ward here, though.
Mm-hmm.
So still can maybe take this fight if they feel so inclined. Skitter standing up front and center. Skylark gets him immediately out. They've already used the Fatal Bonds. Nande didn't end up quite connecting there. Walrus punches out. The terrorized forces Amar away, but now the Thunderbolt roll-in comes through. Kadaro is gone, and Desire also going to be hitting the deck. So 3 dead rather rapidly.
Yeah, and this is, again, this is the formation problem, right? You're jumping in on the Shadow Fiend who has Aegis, so first of all, I think it's a questionable play to begin with, but let's say you go for it. What's your follow-up?
Yeah.
I think you have to Blink Crush into Hook there. I don't think you Blink Crush and then Pudge starts walking and looking for a Dismember, because the problem that Nande found himself in there is, if I Dismember the Shadow Fiend, I get Snowballed instantly.
Yeah.
And if I Dismember the Tusk, I just get Requiemed. So ultimately, weren't able to win this, however.
That is the perfect hook. They try and Tricky Buddy snowball out. Skinner still in some trouble as the rest of them fall. That is Aegis down. Can they find more after? They're still looking. Golem and at the ready. Level 1 upheaval, but Kadaro drops the rock, and now they've got him caught in the Sprout. Do they have another round of hooks? Don't feel comfortable making that move. Amar steps forward, finds the kill onto the Warlock, miss on the hook. And now, with no more chaotic offering, they gotta just run. Skylark trying to get out. Nande, he is a slow guy, but he gets towards high ground. They don't feel comfortable chasing.
Yeah, ultimately a result for Falcons that I think they can be pretty happy with when all's said and done. But that did look really scary at first when they got connected on there, and they get the Gleipnir into hook into the tower, but they still end up taking the... They get the tier 2, they get a somewhat even trade, and they're in a pretty stable position now with their cores, both the Bristle as well as the Shadow Fiend having a very solid game at this point. And of course, something we haven't talked about, Warlock. I do like talking about this hero quite a bit because he's a very clear example of a polarizing hero in Dota that I feel like over the years we get fewer and fewer of because heroes start, you know, their bases start being covered more and more. Right. Heroes get better at wave clear, heroes get this and that, neutral items help them out in certain regards. But Warlock is still a very old hero in a way, in that he really relies on hang on snaking is very dead here. There'll be a little bit of a kill going their way, and Nature's Prophet actually.
He relies on his identity functioning.
Yes, he has one style that needs to be accomplished, and that's late game. That's two things. It's the Golem and the big team fight, and it's Fatal Bonds. And ultimately, one of Warlock's pitfalls that he runs into later in the game is Dispels, right? So we now have a Lotus Orb on Bristle, so that'll be able to remove one Fatal Bonds. Shadow Fiend is going to complete Manta. That'll be able to remove a Fatal Bonds on him only, but it will still be a removal. And I would imagine there's more coming that way from other heroes. So ultimately, that is generally the way you counter Warlock late game, is just by getting a Dispel on almost every hero, because then, you know, then you're a Golem.
Yeah.
And the Fatal Bonds is generally what makes or break this hero. So Falcons well aware of that. They're already prepping it. Skinner. Going to get Drinking Buddy away. They're just trying to prod here and bait a reaction, but it's going to cost them Kadaro.
Yeah, he was thinking about sticking around for the Wisdom Rune off to the side, but doesn't end up going for it, obviously, and they weren't able to do much of anything. You know, it's interesting, too. I'm curious in this game, basically, like, the damage done to buildings and all the rest of it. I feel like Enchantress has been able to do more with these treants almost that we've been seeing from Oboe. It's just, it hasn't really felt like they've been able to get their lane shoved out in positions that they want. And I mean, there's also that chance for Drinking Buddies onto the reinforced unit, which would be disgusting as well. They move on in now and able to find immediately onto the Tusk, but he's not dying. Requiem comes out. Instead, it's the Dark Willow and the Nature's Prophet that are gone. And Skinner, excuse me, Skylark just has to get the heck out of there.
Yeah. Very quick response. And Falcons are just ready. And again, I think if you're the side of Alliance now, you have to be very careful with your fight selection. I think you effectively want to enforce high number fights. These like 2v1, 2v2, 2v3 situations you get yourself into. If you don't have enough information on the map, the counterplay for Falcons is just way too easy.
Yes.
Like if you're trying to go on these heroes and there's a Tusk nearby or there's a Pango nearby, they're going to protect each other and make the fight a complete living hell for you. You have no BKBs, so you can't protect yourself from getting chain stunned and just locked down. That's what happened to Prophet there. He TP'd in and didn't get to play the fight at all. So you need to bring numbers and try to force 5v5s. However, it's Falcons that are making the moves faster.
And he doesn't have the Shivas up in time quick enough here to keep him alive. There's way too much physical damage. It's really a problem. Now, there are some other interesting things that have been going on. We've been keeping a tally this entire time for Desire, getting closer and closer to an Aghanim Scepter on Dark Willow.
Yeah, I don't know about that item choice here in general.
I mean, it is definitely a little bit questionable. Smobe also in some trouble. TP's out. Do they have enough damage? Not quite to get the kill. But yeah, I mean, you're not even going to have a ton of attack speed at this point for Dark Willow with your abilities, but he does almost have the Ags completed.
Yeah, I wonder what the mindset is here. If it's, we feel like Bristle is going to be too big of a problem, so we need more artillery, and we're going to play from range. Like, ultimately, if he does pull this build off, give him another 10-15 minutes and one more item. He's going Mask of Madness next, which is pretty standard for this build on support Willow.
Yeah.
I know it looks extremely weird on support to see Mom, but this is like the one example where I'll allow it. When he gets there, his damage ramps up massively. So there is some potential here, and I will say the interesting thing about it is it shows an understanding of how Falcons lineup operates, right?
Yeah.
It's very... If you can outrange the Bristle, if you can outrange the Shadow Fiend, you get to stand your ground. If you're in the face of them, it's really tough. Nande gonna miss the hook here on Amar.
Well, and notably also, with this Bristleback offlane, there's not an immediate pipe carrier. There's a lot of magical damage on the side of Alliance. And, you know, at this point, still no BKBs built at all. You've got Ags with the Lotus Orb. SF at this point is going in for like the other crit stuff. He might actually have one flying out to him right now on the courier. No, it's Claymore. So no BKBs, no magic resist, no pipe, no nothing. Maybe there's an opportunity here.
It's true, you'd think there might be a moment of opportunity here for the side of Alliance, but again, the tricky part is finding the type of fight that even functions for your lineup.
Yes.
That is the biggest issue that I see here is how do you push out the lanes enough? I mean, Nature's Prophet definitely a great hero in that regard, but as you've pointed out, Ench has done a good job at counteracting his plays. But if you could find the type of situation where Mobe's pushing out 1.5 lanes and then you smoke as 4 and he connects with a TP, maybe then you can find the moment of opportunity where you just burst a hero with Slaughter Crush into hook, dismember, and build a fight from there on out. Another hook missed from Nande. Amar is very aware of his movements.
Yeah.
And this is going to be the end of that.
The rest of the squad is coming up behind in the mid lane. I would be a little shocked of them trying to make any type of a high ground move at this point in time in the game.
Pudge is always a bit of a wild card for that.
With a Pudge in the game. Not sure if that's what you need to do. Still, Golem goes down a good chunk of it onto all of them, but oh, if they just walk away right now, this is tragic. Force staff to get Lloyd, but look at it! The cursed ground and the terrorized damage. The hook, he pulls him in, they jump in and save it on Malrine. Enough to take down the Shadow Fiend. Can they get more? Mobe is dead, and Desire not long behind him. They get the 2 kills for the Shadow Fiend and Nande, and now everybody's stuck together and Fatal bonded. This is the fight they needed for Warlock. This is the fight they needed for their team. You take down 4, and now Roche is an option.
That is huge. And it's all set up by the fact that Falcons are trying to push high ground and they don't have Aegis, right? Like, I feel like maybe getting a little bit overconfident here. You're playing against Pudge. This is always going to be what this hero can accomplish. And yeah, look at that Warlock damage. Just dirty. Got the nice 4-man Fatal Bond in the end. And I think the Dispels weren't ready. They didn't have Manta. They didn't have the Lotus ready on the Bristol. So he got to get full value out of that Fatal Bonds in the end. And a beautiful Terrorize to boot from Desire as well. And you're right. This is going to be a Roche for them. And the biggest thing about getting this Roche isn't getting it. It's the fact that Falcons won't have it for the next 10 minutes to push high ground.
Yeah.
So this is effectively a pretty big blunder for the side of the Radiant, where this could have been theirs if they just waited, and then they could have made the exact same play they just did with an Aegis and a banner. But now we're looking at a totally different ballgame here. Sure, you're still 7k up. You're not looking terrible as Falcons, but that was a pretty big moment in the game for your lineup to seal the deal almost by getting this Aegis. And now it's a wide open game, and they have to be very... I feel like this was the thing we were talking about at the beginning of this game before we even started seeing the lanes, was how comfortable are Falcons going to be playing against this type of lineup that they don't play against a lot. Well, that, to me, was a big blunder. You pushed in without Aegis against Pudge, you got 4-man Fatal Bond, and lost the fight horribly.
Well, and furthermore, it wasn't even like they were trying to push in towards high ground. It was like walking up to kill the creep wave and then just getting overconfident with your position and getting hooked. And you know, it's not often you're getting hooked in pro Dota matches. A hero is not coming around out of that often.
Yep.
So, you know, a little bit of
Mobe has to BKB out of here.
Yeah, unfortunate. Does have the punch?
Oh, okay.
Oh, no, he wasn't nearby. Very far away.
I wonder if we're going to see Malrine opt for a Basher at some point to try to deal with this issue. He's getting the Axe first.
And you see also now, you talked about like the wave pushing be a problem. With Dark Willow, Warlock don't really have that.
Oh, hook. Amar will Lotus.
Another one? Nande right onto him, and they got him caught. They move forward, try and stop this.
Oh, the
my God,
Bloodstone!
the heal. They have a turnaround though, a second round of hook. Somehow it misses him. But nonetheless, Amar is going to die.
Damn, that took some time, but they got there in the end.
But this type of play can't be happening for Falcons. Like, you losing your position 3 that was the most farmed hero in the game very recently, and oh man.
Yeah, just a little bit overconfident there on the map, I guess. Had a different read on the situation with how many heroes were likely to be there from Alliance. He was trying to get the Wisdom Rune and gets punished for it. So another good kill from the side of Alliance in this instance. I feel like, have we mentioned the Halberd on Skylark? This is not a popular item. Like, this item has, I want to say it got bought less than 5 times at TI. I genuinely cannot remember a single game with it, in fact. And usually this is an item we almost exclusively see bought against a hero like Medusa. When you're playing against ranged carries that don't want to buy BKB or have some sort of solution for it, but are very dependent on the right clicks, this item can be an interesting solution. And he bought it against Shadow Fiend here, who, you know, will get a BKB eventually. But I don't know. I don't know if this item's going to come back to bite him. I genuinely still think it's not a particularly great item. And the only hero it's good against in this game is SF.
Yes.
Because Bristleback is still going to do tons of damage with just his Bristleback ability with the Ags, and against the Pango, you don't really care about getting disarmed. You still have Swashbuckle, you still have your ult.
If you're
correct me if I'm wrong, if you're disarmed and you swash, how does it work if you're disarmed and you swash?
You still swash, surely.
I don't know if you do full damage or if you only proc abilities. That's actually... See, the fact that I don't know that shows you how little Halberd gets bought, right? Like, that's... I would think it still works fully, but your regular right-click's done. Let's see, smoke breaking here, Skylark.
Malrine,
they realize it.
They get him immediately.
He's toast. Big kill again.
And look at this, Amar runs in, feeling very confident with himself. Terrorize, connects. That might be enough to get out the rest of them. Skylark trying to run. Does he
Blink?
Blink
Didn't get it off.
No.
He's in the water, though.
Yeah, moving quick. And there's the TP away with the Dark Willow, and Nande, he blinks over Amar.
They get out. All right, clean disengage.
Man. 6K gold lead. They're cutting into this. Alliance are outmaneuvering right now on Falcons, and they continue to find these pickoffs. And this is, again, keeping in mind that eventually, if they have a 5-on-5 fight with the Warlock, you should imagine that that's going to still be the
look what he just picked up.
Yeah, this is Aghanim Scepter time on Warlock.
Double golems.
Man, it'll be interesting to see how this goes. Desire has the Mask of Madness now, so some serious deeps coming out. Does have the Dragonlance queued up, and of course the Enchanted Quiver to boot.
Yeah, he packs a punch picked up.
Yeah, this is Aghanim Scepter time on Warlock.
Double golems.
Man, it'll be interesting to see how this goes. Desire has the Mask of Madness now, so some serious deeps coming out. Does have the Dragonlance queued up, and of course the Enchanted Quiver to boot.
Yeah, he packs a punch now. This Axe that we were questioning, is it going to work? I feel like they managed to get through the stage that they needed to make this effective. Good hook.
Pulls him out just in time. Double golem down, and now they're all fatal bound together. How much damage do they have in the tank? Malrine runs through the Rolling Thunder, only hitting at this point on the Warlock. The rest of the heroes free to hit away. Can they get out with the rest of them? Skylark still has another opportunity for a jump crush if he wants. Skidder pops BKB, but they force stab up to the high ground. And look at Desire way off to the side. Ends up getting punished. So eventually, as the BKB comes out, it was a little bit too much for him.
Yeah, they didn't have enough to commit anymore. Although, I say that Nande never used BKB there, so perhaps there was a way for Alliance to find an angle where they could blink BKB, dismember the SF, and build a fight out of that. But I think, ultimately, as you said, once Skidder pops everything and they're in this position, and they've taken care of the Warlock and the Fatal Bonds run out.
Again? Skidder, force
Good
staff?
Manta.
Yeah, gets out just in case.
Yeah, I mean, if he gets dismembered there, he's actually screwed. I don't think Tusk was anywhere near to save him.
Misses that hook. So a little bit of freedom for a moment, but now with the Sprout up, Kadaro is nearby, obviously does not have Golem for a little while still.
They have the Gleipnir hook threat here.
Need to be careful, the Sprout hook is in time just there as well. Now, Lotus Orb is already out from Amar, but still good damage done. Tier 3 tower taking some serious hurt. Looks for the hook, not going to be able to connect on it. So damage done, but in the end, high ground not broken.
That'll be a full respawn now for the side of Alliance. So I think what we're looking at now is the next Roche for either team. If Falcons manage to get this Aegis and they can push high ground confidently with Skitter, they're getting at least one lane. If Alliance can somehow get this one and find themselves a fight with it, that could blow the game wide open once again. I still feel like Falcons are in a good position overall, but it definitely is the type of game where it really comes down to the initiation. If you get a good clean hook on a hero that doesn't have Lotus, so yeah, they're getting the Bristleback hooked here, but Amar, when he gets hooked in, he's going to insta-Lotus and then he can't get dismembered. If somebody else gets hooked with crit nearby, maybe there's a snowball save to turn things around. So gotta really try to find the right moment of opportunity. But if they're able to... Oh, hang on. Desire actually seeing Malrine here.
Rooted.
Going for the Brambles. And he'll just roll and get out.
Does he try and go for the kill? No. Gonna play it safe. Golem's back up again, which could mean it's time for Alliance to make another move. Or they could opt to play it a little bit safer if they want. Wait for the time when Roche is going to be back up and then go for the big smoke out play. I mean, I guess that's the thing, is they don't necessarily have to try and force the issue too much. And eventually Amar does go for the pipe. So that is going to massively reduce it. Yeah.
Wow. That's actually very surprising knowing this guy.
Yeah. I mean, it just shows like how much they need it.
Yeah. I mean, this is Amar. Where's the Eternal Shroud?
They grow up so quick.
Yeah. How times change. You're right, though. If you're Alliance, you don't necessarily have to force anything. You want to take the fight for Roche, but anything beyond that is completely unnecessary. And there is even a world where Falcons push high ground and you win. But I do think that is a high-risk approach that is unnecessary to take compared to playing for the Roche. But Falcons are the first ones to move. They take the gate. They're going to place some vision up here shortly and start controlling the area. They have a ward here on crit. They have 2 sentries on snaking. The ward will just be placed down straight in the lane.
And super quick Roche spawn.
Alliance are nowhere near right now.
This was about as fast as it gets. I think 8 seconds or so. And it's so fast that they might not even check it on Falcons. Although Malrine...
he's going to have a look.
Wow, and seeing it now, that is a huge win for them. Oh, unfortunate for Alliance fans out there, because I don't think that they go and check this
They're
way.
too late already.
Yeah.
Drinking buddies, Shadow Fiend.
Maybe they wouldn't have contested it either, because like you said, there is that opportunity. There's a chance that as, you know, Falcons go high ground, you can still win that fight as Alliance.
Oof, close call. Malrine does have the basher, so Nature's Prophet has to be careful with these like cute plays around the map.
Yeah.
But he will dodge that one. Yeah, I mean, definitely not writing off Alliance, but this is a huge win for Falcons, getting that one for free and now starting to look at the high ground push. Again, Snowball. They're going to find Skylark kicking him back into Requiem.
Oh, nicely played. BKB got to run.
He might still be fine.
Shard's not quite able to block him off there.
Alive.
The disarm, and he's just out. They also had Ags that they gave, and that is revealed right now as Tusk. That's why it's now up to a 13k gold lead.
That's honestly a pretty good result in that situation for Alliance. Sure, you lose your BKB, but now you know there's no Requiem for this fight. Could open the door, but they need to open it soon. This tower's gone.
Yeah.
They're just not defending.
You're giving up a set of racks here? They're waiting for Refresher. It's on Pudge now.
Okay.
So double BKB, double Dismember. They see the ward down and used Fatal Bonds on Kadaro. It's 15
second
seconds. Cooldown. I mean, that's a little while in the scope of things. You might lose your whole base in time.
Yeah, I think that's not a thing. Fatal Bonding that way of...
Well, still, the hook, that's a good way to start it. Waiting now, good hits come in. Skylark goes in for the crush, leashed up, damage out. Not quite enough, but You can see already the Willow problems. They move forward. Amar trying to back away. They managed to find that
Fatal Bonds.
The Fatal Bonds doing deep. He's gone.
Whew. Amar survived on 100 health with his Lotus.
And now Skinner needs to get saved here by the rest of his squad. Can they do it? The jump forward Nande, that's the refresher, but it's broken immediately, and now he turns to hit way too much. The damage is out. He is gone. Skylark caught in the shards, and bit by bit, they're going to be pulled apart. Falcons running forward, trying to end this game here. Walrus punch, walrus kick. A triple kill for Malrine as they look to close out this game.
Yeah, that's it. That last moment of Nande just blinking in against Shadow Fiend completely on his own. They crumbled under the pressure here. That actually looked quite promising. They get the Aegis out of the hands of Falcons. They get Amar down to 100 health. But Falcons just stay and hit with their long-range artillery of the Shadow Fiend and the Ench. And eventually, the pressure gets to them. I think that Pudge engage on the Shadow Fiend is just a mistake. That is going to end the game here, and Falcons, well, they're going to try their best to stall this out with Sprout from Mobe. He has another Sprout in a second. Now Warlock will be alive.
They're doing their best. Got to get vision of the Ancient to hit it. The Golem down. A double Golem hit. Hold on.
Wait,
There's
wait,
no
no.
way. There's no way. There's no way.
No.
Skinner turns. He's like,
Okay,
please let
no
the
way.
game end. He goes in to finish that one off. There was a moment there, but only a moment.
Now you remember Shadow Demon versus Luna, very powerful. How bad did you mess that up?
I think SC vs Luna's more playable now because when you press Q on her and she uses her second spell, like the illusions die really fast because it like hits them all right away. But I mean, we thought that they weren't that comfortable on it because the only data we had in their last series was that it was sort of ignored or they left it very late. So we think it's like, even though it might be a good pick for them, they'll be less comfortable. I think that's more important.
Chances of you winning out of 100?
I don't know. It's a weird patch. We don't know what we're doing right now, actually. We didn't even get to play Nigma to practice and see what's good. So, because Amar also had problems flying, so we have no practice. It's good.
Thank you very much, my friend. The game is happening. We need to go in there. Sorry. Extremely late to the interview, this man, but we'll go ahead and get into the game. Please be on time to your interviews.
You didn't tell me.
Thank you.
Slack's laying down the law apparently here as we get ready to
Of all the people to do it.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome, though. But yeah, you got to hear a lot of interesting things in that interview being said. I feel like, one of them, they didn't get this practice. Obviously, we sort of knew some of that. But some of the thoughts about, the patch and how things are going and trying to make Alliance feel uncomfortable in this game by saying, okay, we're going to give you a good pick, but you don't necessarily love taking it in the Shadow Demon. Kind of cool.
Yeah, I do think it's a bit of a misread, though. I think Kadaro is very good on this hero, but they might just not have had the data from recent memory, at least. But if there's a classic position 5, there's a good chance that Kadaro knows what he's doing on it, and Shadow Demon definitely falls into that category. However, he's dead, so, he's fine. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah,
relax.
Good
Don't
stuff.
call the kill before it happens, Lyrical, please.
My bad. Sorry. Can you forgive me?
So I want to highlight something real quick here. So Tiga was talking about for Amar in his top 10 most played heroes, Sand King was the lowest win rate. The moment Storm was picked, I was like, I have this memory of this being Malrine's worst hero in Pro Dota.
Yeah.
So I had you check it, right?
Yes.
And what was his win rate again?
30%.
Across how many games?
It was about 20, 25 games, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Okay.
Let's see. 20 games even.
So 20 games, 30% win rate. That is 6 and 14, I think. So they're playing Malrine on one of his historically worst heroes in Pro Dota, and they're playing Amar on one of his historically most weakest heroes in Pro Dota. And in the interview, AY 2000 says, we have no idea what we're doing. This really paints the picture of Alliance might have their best shot in this game.
They're tired.
But we'll
They
see.
haven't practiced everything.
Yeah, we're picking heroes we don't know how to play.
Look at this. They already got
good.
the 1 kill on Snaking, and now they're going to get another one on Skinner. How does it feel to eat 3 or 4 double edges in a row?
Feels great.
Skinner's got to be pissed.
He's going to live, though. He'll have some tangos to munch on, courtesy of Snaking. But yeah, it's interesting, right? This is one of those things with a new patch where we saw in the previous game Falcons rated their Pango really high, and I was curious if that was going to be a pattern or not in the future of the tournament. We'll obviously see. But the fact that they're dipping into a part of their hero pool that we've barely seen them play at TI, right, is tells the story of they might have a new read on this patch, or maybe they were just looking at specific matchups and they were like, all right, we see them picking their Timber first, we're going to counter it with the Luna in the safe lane, and then we know because they have this Timber, it's either going to be Mobe playing it or it's going to be Skylark. Well, if it goes mid, we might as well give Malrine a free matchup for the Storm.
Right.
So they obviously are picking this based on information, and they're looking at the matchups that they have. At the time they picked Storm, they saw, I think it was Timber, Shadow Demon, Centaur, and Storm good against all three heroes makes a ton of sense. He can deal with the Stampede very well. He can kill the save of the Shadow Demon. Oh, nice damage onto Skater. He will live,
Then
though.
this leaves open the Centaur to get taken and, you know, run at the Luna, which is also causing issues, it seems like.
Yeah, this top lane for the side of Alliance is going very, very well. But Malrine's Storm is having a very good time. So at the very least for that lane so far, this pick is making a ton of sense. He will have a nice start. And honestly, that's just my hero to watch this game because Malrine is like a breakout player of last year and this year. And he has his like baseline, nice kill there from Skylark. His baseline level that we've seen for a very long time is exceptionally high.
Right.
So that begs the question, when he is playing his arguably worst hero, what's the baseline this game? That's what I'm just really curious to see, if he's going to pop off and put my doubts or the stats to shame. And how good of a Storm game is it? It's pretty damn good. Like, when I'm looking at this looks, it's not free, but it's very good. The last pick Hoodwink that Alliance brought out doesn't really deal with this hero particularly well either. So it really is a proving ground here for him on that hero.
Well, the other thing about
forward.
it that's really nice, I feel like, is it's not just that there aren't great answers on the enemy team, but all the heroes Storm has to play with in this are sick too, right? You've got the CM for mana, you've got multiple people that can go in first in the Bat Rider and the Sand King, and maybe we just jinxed him. No, he's going to be fine. But, like, in a lot of ways, it does feel like just great for his team and the opponent team.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely a very good hero, and I also always think stats come with an asterisk. You know, like 6 and 14 it's a pretty damn good sample size, to be honest. But how many of those games were with Falcons, right? Like when they really popped off. Did he just play this hero a lot in a previous team that wasn't as good, and were they in a slump at the time? You know, there's a lot of question marks when it comes to that kind of stuff. And ultimately, 20 games is not the biggest sample ever, but it just, for a player like that, it just stands out because, as you pointed out, his win rate on other heroes is ridiculous. I think with Razor, you said he had 30 games, 81% or something like that.
It's pretty insane.
Just a complete polar opposite. He's going to hit level 6 before Mobe here.
Oh, and catch mid-chain, and now looking to get away from there. Can they do it quite in time? No! They get the kill on Timber, but Desire should be able to clean up unless he misses uphill. Does he manage to find enough for the kill?
Oh, he needs two more!
The armor! Oh, but it's still not enough to get away from Malrine.
Very, very quick to make that play. The moment he cracked 6, he instantly went on the Timber, but a fast TP response will get the trade, but definitely advantage Malrine here. With Snakey coming in, they get a 2-for-1 trade. He gets the kill first. So Timber will now be further behind here in the mid lane. He'll be greeted by a Frostbite as he arrives.
And of course, Kadara picking up that invis and heading off. Could stick around here. I mean, again, there's not really any way for you to do anything big to Storm at this point once he comes back into that lane. With the Shadow Demon, actually saving his TP. Wants to be able to make these rotations and find a kill if the opportunity arises for a TP response somewhere. But 7-minute mark coming up, and look at this. Kadaro, he saves the Invis rune to go and sneak it. This would be 2 times in a row now with double Wisdom runes taken by Alliance.
Did they get both last game?
No, I'm lying. I forgot.
But they tried to, because
Yes,
the
that's
Prophet tried to steal one, but the counterplay came from Falcons. However, this time...
Oh, does he get there in time? He's going to come out.
He's good.
Oh, he got it.
He can TP out here. And now the nice flame break into the Frostbite.
All right,
so they'll get the kill, but this is still very, very nice for the side of Alliance, especially if he dies to neutrals here. Oh, that was actually kind of close, but the splash from the Black Dragon, not enough. But definitely well worth it to die for that. Not only do you take the rune away, but you also force the TP, and that leaves exactly this. A vulnerable Luna.
Stampede out for the finish, and now Malrine wants to catch, wants to kill. Desire in trouble, Desire dead. Malrine now, but Nande moves in, doesn't quite hit on the waveform though. And that means Malrine should get out of here okay.
Skylark is not fast enough. That's not happening. Alright, so far so good for Malrine. Another kill on the board here, but yeah, the Luna being punished immediately for that Crystal Maiden TP to the Wisdom. Good heads-up plays here from Alliance, and now Amar will give Nande a tip for arguably the lowest impact rotation he's done all tournament. Just went top, waveformed, missed, and then went back bot. Like, good job, buddy.
A tip for
Welcome
anything.
back to the lane.
Snake King goes down to Kadaro.
Yep.
Plays holding on. Now they do spot out this stack here. This is interesting. After dropping the sentry, I don't know if it's going to be that easy for them to come and contest this at all.
Timber is very good at this.
That's true.
I think they want to try. Desire's level 6, by the way. These double wisdoms and the kill that he got mid onto the Storm is putting him in a really strong position to make this invasion play. Yeah, it's Amar will try to get it with the Epi.
Moves in. Good damage. Enough to steal some of those creeps away, but still they shared XP nonetheless.
Yep. And that's Epi used.
Kurt will go for another stack here on these Ancients. A little bit tougher when the camp gets over full, but they still will manage it.
Yeah, I wonder how well Sand King does this Ancient stack with the new Sandstorm. Or I say new, but with the Invis Sandstorm.
Right.
We've, does it hit Ancients with this? It does, right?
But they're gonna run around and stuff.
Yeah, you're just attacking them constantly to keep them leashed on you. We'll see though. Also, we'll see if they even prioritize giving them to Sand King. You could just, leave them for Luna. You could leave them for the Storm. They have multiple heroes that are capable of taking Ancient stacks. And most importantly, they have good protection. And these ones are a lot harder for the Timber to steal than the hard camp that he went for a moment ago. So.
Well, and honestly, they might do it together there with Crit also.
Yeah, he definitely wants some of the XP. He's going to stack it again. My goodness.
Yeah, he is
Stack
just
Central.
doing all of that.
Is that going to be I think it's a Quint stack, right?
No, it's 5.
Yeah, that's Quint.
No, the Quint is a different word.
No, Quint is 5.
Okay.
Quad is 4.
I'm
It's a quintuple stack.
I'm messing with this. Never mind.
I don't know if you're trolling me. I don't understand lyrical.
You.
All right, now we do get to see this. Because I haven't seen this in quite a while, Sand King doing a camp like this with this facet.
Yeah.
It is, you can tell it's kind of awkward.
It is.
But he'll eventually get the job done here.
Well, and once one of them dies, like the explosion, look at that. That's when things start to look good.
Stinger, even level 1 Stinger, doing quite a bit of work with the Caustic. Yeah, all right. That
was quick.
Fair to say that's very efficient. I wanted to see just how fast that is, and that's solid. Top of the net worth now for Amar.
What do you think about this build that he's doing on Sand King 2? As we're watching the tower start to get dropped down, has the Blink Dagger coming out right now and immediately going bots afterwards. A very different style than I feel like the Bloodstone shenanigans that we saw all over the place.
Yeah, we used to see Bloodstone and Ewel's and Double Bracer. Yeah, it's interesting. The Travels approach is quite different. It's greedier in the sense that, I mean, it allows him to connect with Storm pretty well for plays, but they have no obvious targets to teleport on. They have like no summons or anything of the like, but I guess he just wants to get really big and just scale in this game and go toward the later stage of the game. So it's all right. I mean, this is a classic thing, honestly, for offlane Sand King. This is what people used to do a while back, was rush the dagger and then get Travels, and then after that you look at BKB, you look at potential Ags, you look at, whatever you feel like. There's tons of different options.
And he smokes up now also, so I think this is looking to get aggressive at this point, find some kills, and maybe get some more galvanized stacks for Storm.
Yep.
As he is heading in towards mid. Not an easy kill on the Timber, but if Kadaro's still sticking around, that one should be simple. Goes immediately for the Stampede to try and get him away. But Kadaro dead nonetheless.
It was a multi-purpose one. They were also going on Skater top, but that play failed, and now the turnaround play Eclipse.
Oh, Flame Break! And then
he
immediately
dies.
catch, but he does go down. Desire had enough. Now jump forward, Snake King on the hunt with the rest of them. And Malrine involved in this kill, as there is going to be a quick disconnect, some type of lag, I guess.
Yep, looks like it. But another good sequence here for Falcons. So multiple kills. They do take out the Luna again, so they are slowing down Skater quite significantly, but Yeah, he's actually very far down here on the net worth. The thing is, in this game, I don't think... Usually when you have Luna lineups, I will say that Luna's game is extremely important. I feel like in this one, Luna can have a slightly rough start and play catch-up for the next 10 minutes, as long as both Storm and Sand King are doing well. Right. Because, sure, your damage output right now on your team is like 90% magical between the Storm, Sand King, and Bat, and even the CM. But until the enemy team starts getting meaningful magic resist or BKBs, you can still make tons of plays across the map with these heroes and generate space for Luna that way. So eventually she can cover the physical component issue that you have. So yeah, with both Storm and Sand King having good games and building up this fast, I think that is A-okay for Falcons. By the way, Amar just queued up Travels too.
Oh.
Now, I'm not going to get ahead of myself and say he actually does this, but...
It's kind of cool with Storm.
It's good with Storm and it's good with Bat, but maybe it's a little bit too cute. Like, it's so much gold that you're paying for this versus getting, you know, the price you're paying for bots 2 here is the same as BKB. And now with this nice pots from Skitter, Amara's like, wait a second, Bloodstone's good on this hero, right? So he changes his quick buy.
BKB
oh,
now.
BKB's good too, isn't it?
I mean, the other thing to sort of keep
Crit
your eye
says,
on...
wait, I think Falcons want to keep the pause here and give Amar some time to figure out. Okay, he's holding the BKB for now.
Yeah, ready.
I mean, I personally think this is the best item he can buy. Yeah, the BKB. Because I'm a little bit concerned for him that if he goes for the Bloodstone, I actually think he can get burst anyway. Between Morphling and Timber and Hoodwink, it is very dangerous, even with a Bloodstone, to commit in. And you also don't have the Dust Devil anymore, which I think is a really big part of the Bloodstone build, is having that reliable Sandstorm on top of you at all times. If you're playing this Invis 1 and you need to start moving in the fights, well, guess what? What does your Bloodstone really do, right? So I don't really think Bloodstone is a thing with this facet most of the time, in my opinion. So BKB seems stable. It seems safe. In my opinion, it's between this and Ewell's and then the Travels that he was looking at. So I'm on board with this.
I also feel like, you know, I'm just looking at these heroes and, you know, 1,200 HP, 1,400 HP. There is a lot more potential to find these bursts, I feel like, in this game. And I think also, as it gets later and later, the Morphling, you know, the panel talked about it a lot. This can become that be-all, end-all hero for him. You've got great heroes to change into in this one.
For sure. It's a really good Morphling game. We've seen this hero be one of the primary counters that teams were running against Luna at TI with some success. The problem Morph often faced against Luna was just pacing, that the Luna draft was playing too fast and taking over the game. But in the games that we saw where you kind of stayed afloat with the Morphling team and Morph got a couple of items, all of a sudden he's one of Luna's absolute worst matchups in the game. And he's really good against Sand King too. So again, I'm looking to Malrine to really be the X factor in that regard against the Morph.
Well, and we talked a lot.
Malrine has Shard queued up.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting.
That is very unusual, I want to say.
Down bottom. Good stun onto Nande. He should be fine here. I also wanted to mention that, you know, we talked about lack of comfort a little bit for the heroes of Falcons, as Nande should still live through this, knowing his limits very well. It is his most played hero, Nande, by far.
He is really good on this hero.
Yeah, really good win rate, a lot of matches on it, and again, really good win rate on some teams where he's, you know, they haven't won a ton of games on LAN over and over and over again, so he's still finding success, and it's kind of their go-to, I feel like, when
I personally think this is his single best hero. I've been very impressed when I've seen him play Morphling in both in good games and in tough games where he's maybe not having the best conditions. He'll still find an angle, and then he plays exceptionally well once he gets 2 to 3 items on this hero. I feel like he has a very good understanding where sometimes we see other players, let's say on teams of similar tier to the teams he was playing for, where they just make 1 or 2 critical errors. They get caught out with low health, or they don't cast their spells perfectly in fights or whatever. They don't use the Morph ability that great to become the right target. He's very crisp. Like, he's clearly an expert on this hero, so...
This would be a nice catch-up kill opportunity for him, because they're about to lose double wisdoms. But unfortunately, Skitter does back away, and also taking a little stack here of Ancients is very nice to sneak that one away.
Alliance actually weren't near to any wisdom. It was like they didn't even consider it. They lost both 14-minute Wisdom's last game too.
I think this time that both of them, they've been looking for kills as the Wisdom Rune has come out. And now,
Amar
onto him, drops the ulti, looking, hunting. They'll still have Disruption available. But
he's playing Sandstorm. And he's out.
Yeah, I can't quite get there with the vision.
Do you like that taunt?
I don't care about Sand King. I hate that hero.
But do you care about Darude?
Yeah, that's a good one. It's an old school. I feel like people don't know about that now. Like it was.
What do you mean? We have the same players we did 20 years ago in this game.
That's true. We got a lot of the same. You're not wrong.
I think if you played Darude in Fortnite, people would be like, "What is this shit?" But in this game,
yeah, people know.
Of course, people know.
Now we're old. He does go for the shard. Interesting. I mean, it's kind of cool. I feel like it is underrated. You give your team 40 attack speed. Obviously, you get the overloads, the 3 stacks of them. It's kind of a unique way to play it and can do a ton of magical damage burst.
Yeah, you just don't necessarily have the best friends for it, right? I mean, like, who's going to use these charges in your team? I feel like there are better games for it, but we'll see. I mean, obviously, Skitter, if he's part of the move on the Luna, sure.
Right.
But I think in this game state, a lot of the time, Luna will want to farm, right? So he's probably not going to be part of the majority of the moves. Nice blink from Skylark. Will still be spotted, though.
Hunting, Stampede ready. Gonna pop it now. Tries to run away. Flame break. They're gonna eventually run him down, I think. Yeah, blink down.
That took so long.
And they wouldn't have got that kill without the shard.
Yep, that's very untrue. No, it's interesting. I'm always happy to see players experiment and do new things. And I personally think the shard is very good. I just don't think this is the particular game where I would have suggested it. That's the main thing I'm saying.
Got it.
Because like if you're playing with other, let's say your 4 and your 5 aren't Crystal Maiden bad. Let's say it's some heroes that actually activate the charges very easily. You get that extra burst damage when you go for ganks with them.
Ande jumped on, gets the waveform out. Obey doing some damage onto crit. Now the control for Kadaro will go for the self-destruction. Now Nande pops the Sandstorm. Invis off to the side. How much damage can they do? They have detection down. Now they finally pop the dust. See a big catch there with the bushwhack in the cut.
Holy!
For the kill. What a destructive moment.
Damn. That was such a good initiation there from Skylark, finding that. And not only that, this is we haven't talked about the synergy between these two heroes. I find this to be one of the most interesting duos in Dota is Hoodwink and Timber in the same team. Because when they're laning together, which they weren't in this game, it was a mid-Timber. But sometimes if you're playing this lane, it's so frustrating. Timber cuts down the trees and you miss your bushwhack. But when you have good communication and you're playing a fight like this, Hoodwink gives you a guaranteed tree to jump to with the Timber chain. And we saw in that fight, Desire just shot out an Acorn shot, and they were able to just full-on burst. I believe that was what it was. Maybe it was one of the trees already around, but you see here, it's not this one, I believe. I think it's coming later, but we'll see this first. So Nande immediately turning into the Sand King, get a double stun, get the Sandstorm off, and he's in Viz. Now there's going to be a sentry placed up north here from Snaking, so they see Nande, and they're kind of tempted here, but yeah, there you go. It just puts down an extra tree here, and it's so easy for them to connect with all their spells. I think in this instance it actually didn't matter that much, to be fair, because he had a tree behind that he could connect on.
Right.
But it is an interesting duo, and it just gives that little bit of extra play potential for the Timber and that extra burst.
Well, and comfort was what they talked about in the panel. You know, maybe not the best answer for Storm in a vacuum, but for this particular player, he feels really comfortable out. They're going to run into each other in the river, or rather the trees.
Malrina's very scared.
Yeah.
That's his entire mana pool. He has to go back to base now.
And that is, I feel like, is maybe one of those little things that, disruption.
Disrupt.
Although that means it's a setup for a more. But he can't get it. The Burrow Strike not quite going to connect. Oh man, Snake King goes down to the Timber, and seen instances of these heroes that the team not always the most comfortable playing, just missing a few things here and there, using the mana pool to get out on Storm. It's a rough one.
This game is looking really good for Alliance, because I think not only, I mean, it's obviously good for them to be ahead by 5k, but you're thinking about the paths that Falcons have taken with their heroes. Storm bought Shard, That's a full-on fighting item, but you're not winning the fights.
Yeah.
Your Luna is playing recovery. She's 6th on net worth minute 19, which is unheard of at this level. So he's having a terrible game on Luna. Your Morphling is having a great game, and on top of all of that, it's an outstanding Morphling game. I feel like all the boxes that Alliance needed to tick for this game have already been ticked, so now it's about bringing it home, right? I feel like this is their game to win now. And I would be a little bit more hopeful for Falcons if they had itemized slightly differently. So Sand King going BKB and Storm buying Shard is, we're going to fight you.
Right.
But if that fails, now you have a lot of quote-unquote dead gold, right? You have less farming speed on the Sand King because you bought BKB. You have Storm with the Shard compared to, you know, building towards something bigger that can really explode the fights. It's concerning to say the least going into the next 10 minutes here for Falcons. We'll see if they can find some sort of opening here with this smoke. Crit only level 9, by the way, on the Bat Rider.
Yeah, it's not been a
very
easy
low
one
level
for
on
him
this hero
either.
in this game.
You think about that stolen hard camp and how much that could have propelled his game forward as well, not having access to it. This regen rune on Storm could be really big, and of course the big question with these teams is, can you close out a match? Smoke
illusion.
breaks, they bait it out.
Oh no.
Yeah, now they gotta run. I mean, I will say that, like, oftentimes the difference between the Tier 1 and Tier 2 teams is their ability to close out these one games in, like, really easy fashion. And it's going to be a great test for Alliance to see if they can knock this one out of the park. Smoke up, trying to head out now as we're getting close to that 21-minute Wisdom Rune mark. It's just 2.
They're too late.
That are making this move.
But this time, the Falcons might not get both. It's crazy that Crit was level 9 despite them getting 2 14-minute Wisdoms.
Vision
Oh,
down.
he's extremely dead.
Yeah, they got him.
Yeah, well, there was a Bat Rider there a moment ago.
Oh,
A
snipe.
little extra tickle there. Has Tranquils though, so he'll be fine.
And this is the way that you close out the game. Head right on into Roche. Kadaro now using the illusions to tank Fernande, so he can take this one down with just the 2 of them at the moment. Kind of a nice little play. If they can manage to do this, this is really good. And it looks like he's going to be able
theirs,
to.
and it comes at not even the cost of their top tier 1. With Mobe TPing in there, Malrine is going to think twice about committing to the tower, so not getting that 7k lead now
That
for the
is
side
great.
of Alliance. Nande with the Crystallis aiming for BKB. We have a lasso though. Skylark is very tanky.
This is a hard kill to get
That
here.
is not even close to working out.
The Burrow Strike does come through for the haste, but then BK being forced to run away. And I'm noticing too on that he didn't pop his Overload Shard to try and get that kill onto the Centaur. Either, you know, didn't feel the need to do it or what have you, but yeah, things not coming together right here for Falcons.
Yeah, and in all honesty, that wasn't even remotely close, right?
Snaking?
Snaking will live here.
Oh,
Skylark.
maybe could have stopped that.
Yeah, I didn't notice if he blink hoof stomped and then interrupted it with double edge. Centaur's a little bit weird in that regard,
Yeah.
where his animation canceling of the hoof stomp can feel a little bit odd, but yeah, maybe they could have found the maiden there if he stomped instantly instead of getting the double edge off, but either way they force her back to base and they take control of the area.
I mean, it's a CM. Who really
Not
cares?
the biggest kill to miss, but I mean, it all adds up.
Yeah, that's true. Morphling, eyes on the BKB next, and then it's that big old shotgun. The new school one. There is a scan connection over onto the Sand King at the moment, but it looks like Falcons are just going to have to give up this Tormentor. Desire will get the boomerang.
Crit effectively showing his ward there, but they don't have a sentry. Man, Desire almost has the Gleipnir. Oh man.
They're big.
It's a really big item against the Storm here because Malrine is going Witchblade before BKB, so there's going to be a good 3-minute window, at least maybe 4 minutes, where Hoodwink can actually completely set up this Storm. And it's easier with the Gleipnir than with the ATOS.
Yeah.
To get this, you get the extra damage, you get a bit more reach and better control.
Of course, there's still also the issue that at this point in time in the game, pretty much all of the damage that's coming in is magical. Like, Skitter does not have the right-click damage right now at all, and they have a full completed pipe. They're getting these BKBs online. I mean, I really am struggling to see how you kill Skylark, even with all of the heroes there on Falcons. Like, he would die, but it would not be easy.
No, and they have counterplays, right? They have a Glimmer Cape, they have a Disruption. Oh, they're in, okay.
Moves forward, big sniper. Snake King out of there. And up high ground.
Counterglyph from Alliance, 2 minutes on the Aegis on Nande. He has something arriving on the Courier as well. That's his BKB as well?
He's huge.
Dude, he is so big.
If they try and go as this BKB is coming in, they're going to get a nasty surprise. They find him immediately, but he's fine. Jump forward, crit, gone.
He's dead. No buyback either.
And Malrine using a lot of his mana pool to try and go in, but nothing is happening. Stomp on it too now. They don't have the follow-up. It's just to stop Nande from taking any real meaningful damage, and at the end of the day, he's good too. 10k gold lead now, Alliance. Game feeling like it's in the bag.
Yeah, and with the tower open already, I think they just go again. Just go on this next wave. Sure, Bat's going to be alive again, but the problem is, if they see crit whatsoever, they have zero hesitation to jump the Bat. There's no save. And Skylark, as you've pointed out, has so much freedom to go in because he's more or less immortal. So he just can feel super confident to jump on anything that moves. And we'll see it here. He's already in position just waiting for someone to go and try to cast a spell on Nande, and you bet he's going to respond.
Ready. The Atos not going to connect. If it does, he's dead. But now Reen, jump forward. Everybody shows up dead. Stampede, run forward. And they get demolished. Now Dust is out, Amar's still there, Nande waves for him in with the BKB and just eliminates Amar. Now the Burrow Strike forward, misses on the Snake King, does not matter. That is a dead CM, triple kill, looking for an Ultra. 5 dead, no answer. They are going for the tier 4 towers. There are buybacks on 2 heroes, but I don't know if that's enough. They're done?
All right.
Oh, baby.
What did I tell you, Lyrical, going into today? What did I tell you? I think Alliance can definitely win a game against Falcons. Probably wasn't expecting a 26-minute absolute curb stomp, but you know.
Yeah.
That's a really good look. And stats don't lie.
Okay. Always a pleasure.
I can't believe Loda said that.
That's
I
messed
actually can't
up.
believe it.
We should make a Reddit thread or something. I don't know.
I think Slack should start a tabloid.
You know what's funny, though, is that every interview that Slacks has done so far, the team has lost that he's coached, interviewed for. And I feel like, you know, he specifically requests that one. It's like the kiss of death, the interview when you go up with Slacks. So stay away.
You could definitely tell Loda didn't really want him to talk to him. So I think you're right. That's probably the reason. It's a very bad luck charm.
Well, nonetheless, we do have and are blessed with a Game 3, and I couldn't want to see another one between these two teams more. Like, honestly, I think that this is one of those matches that can be kind of tournament-defining for both teams. Going up to 2 wins out of the first 2 days in the Swiss stage changes so much, I feel like, and particularly for this squad that I wouldn't necessarily call Alliance like a young team by any stretch of the imagination, but they are a squad that haven't gotten their footing on the big international tournaments yet, and being able to take down Falcons here would be huge.
Yeah, and it's always interesting with teams of this kind that, you know, you've got a team, this was the team Dandelions before, and they were close to qualifying for multiple things without quite making it. Now that they're at a LAN tournament, some teams really rise to the occasion, you know? Like, you need this opportunity. Some players play their best when the stakes are highest, when they're together as a team and they can really, you know, build the synergy leading into the games. And so far, so good for Alliance, right? Like, even if they were to lose this series, I've been impressed with them so far.
Yes.
And I think it's absolutely not a horrible position to be in, to be 1-1 after this for either team. Keep in mind, in this format, you need to get 3 wins before you get 3 losses. And if you look across, like, let's say the average performing team of this tournament, I think Alliance have done better than that. So a 3-2 result will get you through. A 3-1 result will obviously get it through. And if you're 2-0 here, you need to lose out from there on out to not make top 8, right? So realistically speaking, both teams I think are in a solid spot, and this, like you said, it's a tournament-defining game in the sense that you get a ton of breathing room, but at the same time, I'm also not too concerned for either team if they lose. I feel like Alliance have more to win.
Yes.
I guess I'm more on board with this being defining for them if they were to win this, because then you're starting to see, all right, we're actually, that will be the most insane confidence boost, right? I think based on the coach interviews, Loda was talking about this series when they started, that Alliance, they wanted to focus on themselves. They know they're not as good as the opponent. Well, guess what? What if you win?
Yeah, absolutely.
Then aren't you as good as them, right?
Right, and definitely, like you talk about, for Alliance, being able to win here, putting that together would be huge. For Falcons losing, this would not be the most disappointing loss of the year, but it is definitely still a crazy one, as Skylark does take a heck of a lot of damage, and as you can see, a little bit more often seen tag team, it's starting to come back into vogue a little bit.
I think this is worth, it's worth focusing a little bit on the lanes this time, more so than we did last game, specifically because I think this time Falcons have more favorable matchup in the safe lane. The Clock Nature's Prophet lane is insanely strong against double melee. Nature's Prophet, just a formidable laner with the Nature's Call as well. With the Ironwood Treant, you're putting that together with a Clockwork, who will easily be able to connect on the melee heroes, and you're just putting so much pressure. On the flip side, though, in theory, down bottom, Alliance with the Monkey King versus Melee Core matchup should also be good. But Monkey, not the best hero the first few levels, which Amar and Crit are taking advantage of. And then, hang on.
A chance and a solo.
That is really good news for Malrine. He was doing well in this lane last game. This time he's crushing.
Yeah, I think that's one of those where you learn the matchup even better, and you're able to more convincingly sort of win the lane. But should note also that I feel like the Monkey King pick, T called it on the panel. He felt like it was relax, get out of my lane apparently. But I do sort of feel like it was a moment where because it's paired with the Warlock, it's a little bit funky, right? Normally, if you had some sort of slow or something else, the Monkey King can take over with the damage and really bully. Kind of feel like Amar can just walk away, and you can see his item build. He's gone immediately in for boots. Yeah,
that's fair. It's definitely, as far as Monkey King lanes go, this is one of, I would say, his worst partners in lane. But obviously, when Alliance went for the Warlock pick, the Monkey King was probably not at the top of their list of what they were planning to do.
Oh, yeah.
But I guess the way Falcons picked in the second phase kind of dissuaded them from what their original plan A was. And now they've opted for this as like a backup plan. And the good news is Monkey should probably still do fine in this lane, but he's not going to crush the Kunkka.
Yeah.
Top lane again. Good cogs, big damage.
Punching Skylark, snowball onto the creep, and that gets him away. Desire takes the last little remnants of this battery assault, and as you mentioned, they are getting bullied back by that Clockwork.
They're just running out of juice up here. They have no regen left. So one more cog, you probably got to kill. Sprout first.
On him, cogs out, dead. Yeah, right away. That's all it takes. And this is a huge wave coming in, too. Oh, I don't know what they're going to be able to do. I mean, he will have a TP, but, I mean, they're going to lose some to it, and I think the tower is going to take some damage. If they can zone him off from XP range entirely, they move back in with the Centaur now. And
I mean, Desire could die here, actually.
Trying to get away from him. Snowball off to the other creeps. Nicely
played. They'll put the pressure onto Skylark instead. No cogs, though, surprisingly. Could have done some decent damage there, but wants to preserve his mana for later.
There.
But yeah, this is a huge lead already for Falcons. This did not happen in either of the previous two games that either team really got off to this good of a start in lanes. So we'll see if Alliance can handle the heat. Because if there's one thing Falcons has shown all year, it's their ability to transform one-sided laning affairs into just never losing it. Yeah. Just controlling the lead until the game ends, building it, expanding their advantage.
Yeah, and I feel like there's going to need to be some type of a rotation, stop the bleeding moment from somebody. I'm just not really seeing who that is. Like, if Tusk leaves that Centaur alone, he is going to die. but maybe you just need to like step back and let that type of thing happen, and maybe you can rotate in. You can't really do it on the Malrine. Storm has got 6 now. It's a little tough to make anything change really with this. Although Desire will manage to secure a regen rune.
Yeah, that's very good news for Mobe. He'll get that in the bottle.
But as we said, you leave Skylark alone, he's dead. So they're going to be able to run him down. A couple more punches is all they need, and yes, indeed, the Centaur will fall.
The Clockwork matchup is so rough for Centaur in lane if you don't have protection. And now, for Alliance, if they don't want to absolutely get completely rolled, they have to get a Wisdom Rune. I think if you give 2 Wisdom Runes now over to the side of Falcons, the map is just dead for the next 5 to 10 minutes. Like, you will have no play potential with your supports.
And that can't afford to happen. Malrine makes the rotation. They find that kill. Timber moves in. They are all fatal bound together, but can't quite connect with that Chakram onto the Storm. So they will manage to step out of there, and it looks like Tusk should be able to secure his Wisdom Rune.
Yeah. So they do get that one, but another successful move here from Falcons, building a very meaningful advantage. Kunkka is now going to get level 6, while Monkey just cracked 5. So a full level advantage for Amar. And it's a problem because if there's one thing Monkey King struggles with, his health pool early in the game is pretty terrible. He's instead going to make his own move up to top, combating Skitter. Very unpredictable nice. Here. Nice move that Falcons did not see coming. So finally Alliance get on the board. But my concern for Nande is here. If you show up to lane, you get X mark, Torrent boated, and there's one hero connecting and you might just die. Warlock can't protect you. Tusk will have to TP to try to save.
I mean, to be fair, I think that probably the best target for them consistently is going to be the Nature's Prophet. Like, you know, you've got Rum you need to battle through with Kunkka, Storm, obviously, they don't have the best lockdown for it. But if they can get on top of this Nature's Prophet, he's kind of a sitting duck. So we'll see if Nande decides to make that similar move you're just talking about, or if perhaps it's going to be more just trying to stay alive down here and not get picked off. But yeah, it's dangerous. Snake King not quite level 6 yet.
Realizing there's a ward here because Nande's reaction. Kadaro's very dead though.
Yeah.
But at least they get their core out of trouble. Another Galvanized stack now. 6 on Malrine. And that nice little extra mana regen, and probably also a tower here. I don't think Alliance have any ability to defend this. Centaur is still not level 6. And Timber's already half HP from farming the jungle. So I think you just concede this one, and Falcons... This is the type of game that could just be a complete beatdown. If Falcons get this rolling a little bit more in the next few minutes, if they get this bottom tower, let's say they make a collapse move on mid and they kill Mobe and take that tower, the map can start feeling really small really fast when you're playing against Storm, Clock, Nature's Prophet. Like, the amount of catch and the skirmish power that Falcons have and the way they can combine their heroes into pairings is extremely powerful. And for the side of Alliance, levels is really the problem, right? Tusk is level 4, Warlock's level 5. Sure, he's got 1 charge in his Grimoire, it's not great. And we've talked in Game 1 about Warlock's shortcomings, right? He wants team fights, he doesn't want skirmishes. The Falcons lineup can force skirmishes everywhere.
Yeah. Well, and I guess that's the question mark then for me. And do you think that to sort of kind of stop the bleeding that's going on as Alliance, you need to try and make a move with 6 on Warlock? Or Malrine, I mean, he's not going to be able to take down this Timbersaw very easily. Pop the Stampede, still hunting for more. He tries to back away. Nande is out to the side, jump forward, and the Boundless to get the finish. Just barely able to survive that one is the Timbersaw. Now Shard's out onto Amar. They're going to drop the rock. What a great turnaround battle. They get the kill on the Warlock, but Retribution comes the other way. You will take that trade every day.
Oh, for sure. Bit of a mistake from Nande there. That could have been even, or sorry, from Kadaro. That could have been even better. The Warlock dying there to the Kunkka Cleave was avoidable, but still good result. They get 2 cores for the price of a Warlock. So that was a situation that had to work for Alliance, and it did. There's still a lot of ground to cover, but now they're getting some momentum.
And on to Snake King, they move in, try to get that finish. Clockwork Hookshot is out. And that is enough to take down Skylark, but they do get the Timbersaw out alive again. Battling back here, signs of life.
Yep.
I mean, I think also you look at that, you know, for Malrine, he had 7 charges a second ago, right? The galvanize, being able to cut those off, I feel like is so valuable.
Definitely. Now, in comparison to the game we just played, Skylark's Centaur is having a really tough time.
Yes.
He's very far down on the net worth. This is the biggest difference in the game right now, is between those two offlaners, where Amar is leading the charts and Centaur is a full 2,000 behind him. It's a bit problematic for the side of Alliance, because what worked so well for them last game was that Skylark very quickly reached a point of critical mass where they didn't have the damage to take him out. That does not feel like it's going to be a concern for a long time in this game. Arguably, the pipe is basically as good as the last one, but he's going to want the blade mail first. He probably wants the dagger in this game. So he's going to need some time, and if there's one thing the Dire lineup is not going to give you, it's just that. They'll just keep their foot on the pedal, you know? Just keep going.
Yeah.
Next tower, more pressure around the map.
Well, and this is the thing, right? You think about how some of that fight managed to go so well. It was, 1, a pretty heavy commitment on the Timber, but it was 2, Warlock ulti. Long cooldown on that spell. Can't really make it work without it. And for the moment, Ande sitting up here on a tree as they can go on in and try and take out these Ancient stacks, it looks like.
Fatal Bond's really good for this.
Yeah. Does some pretty good damage there, and obviously has the heals the whole way through too. And trying to build into the full Gleipnir. Sometimes it's still just too good of an item to pass up.
It's incredible on Monkey King. I think this is the best hero in Dota to buy that item on, personally. It sets you up to hit multi-hero boundless strikes. It keeps enemy heroes in Wukong's command. It's a farming item for you here. It's just amazing on this hero. So I think Gleipnir needs to be nerfed quite a lot before Monkey King doesn't buy it anymore.
Right.
Or Battle Fury needs to be conversely that much better, and the game needs to be that much slower. Or this is just a gimme item for this hero. It's just that good.
Well, Shard is again queued up for Malrine.
Yeah.
It's the thing that he likes to go for. Has an Arcane Rune.
Slightly better friends this time, I would say. This time he's playing with Nature's Prophet Carry instead of Luna.
Yeah.
Can easier join and get the attacks used with the Overload. The support duo of Bat Clock isn't the best either, but I would say it's better than Bat CM, because Clock will be in there hitting. But yeah. Still not fully sold on Malrine's approach with this Kaya into the Shard. And also, like you pointed out last game, how much did he even use it?
Yeah.
Maybe his under 30% win rate on Storm is because he thinks the Shard works differently.
Okay. I don't think so. But there's a chance. Never know. Looks like this is going to be the 3rd time in this game where Wisdom Runes are stolen at the 14-minute mark. As Kadaro steps on over,
this is not happening. It's going to get broken away. Easy.
A little unfortunate. Oh, he did it. Kadaro went and did it. Okay.
They'll get him, but it's going to cost them a golem. It's a decent kill here for Nande, of course. He really wants that influx of gold, but I think if you're crit, you're very happy with that exchange.
I mean, yeah, what do you do now as Falcons? There's no golem up. Like, how aggressive do you think they want to be with this? Or are they comfortable just farming, waiting for their item timings?
That's a good question. I feel like they have multiple options. If they make a smoke move that's successful in the bottom half, I think they could look to tier 2. Bottom, if they make a successful move top, they could get the tier 1 there. The mid tower's off limits for now, but it's definitely not out of the question that they could look for a smoke play and really take advantage of this major cooldown being unavailable. As a matter of fact, it's Alliance putting a bit of pressure now, though. Nobody's showing up to defend this for the time being.
Yeah.
Okay. They're just going to get this tower? All right.
It seems like it. Nobody is responding. I guess they just feel more... I mean, to be fair, like they're building up a gold lead more and more as this is happening. Crit's going to come on over and finally put the stop to it. Tower within deny range, which he might opt to do if they want. But still, you know, a lot of structural damage done. The game slowing down a little bit now as Falcons still holding on to this 5,000 gold lead.
Yeah, and it should keep growing. This is a Nature's Prophet with Mjolnir. This hero farms like an absolute machine. And Malrine just owns the bottom half of the map entirely. He's such a difficult kill for the side of Alliance. They need to bring so many heroes. Between the Rum, the ult, the Blade Mill, and the threat of the Prophet. it's difficult. And that's, once again, it's a bit of an issue that Alliance's lineup has thematically is... Oh, hang on, Mobe.
They're going on the Timber again.
I'll protect him.
A little bit scary. Snowball is ready, but a little bit too far away. And, well, Nande, though, a big hit out with the Wukong's command. Malrine tries to get away, but Nande is in trouble, and he's going to die. Too much right-click coming in from the Nature's Prophet, and they're all going to die. Did not stand a chance. No golem, no fight.
That's a really, really big blow to the side of Alliance, and it begs the question, was Dagger first on Timber the choice this game? I think he's just too vulnerable. Falcons make the read. All right, we can actually just open on this Timber. He can't fend for himself. Like, there's not enough protection. Sure, you can try to snowball him, then you're just setting up for an even better combo for Clock or Kunkka. And they're just using their numbers advantage, really. They're bringing enough heroes. They have the net worth to just pile onto them. There's another easy kill here onto Kidaro, and this is starting to get completely out of control now.
Yeah, this is a problem. I did actually see the shard get used there, and it looked kind of good. He died rather rapidly, which, I mean...
Bit misleading. He had Amplify Damage Rune.
Okay, fair.
But yeah, we're going to see the replay here. Imagine if Mobe has some sort of tankiness here, right?
Yeah.
They barely kill him, despite him only having the dagger. This shot... I guess there was a hook shot after, so maybe not as close, but... Yeah, numbers advantage here. Very quickly in the way of Falcons. Skitter is just completely free fighting. Centaur never shows up to the party. He has no resources farming down bottom. Now this will be an easy roast for the side of Falcons using that overload on 5 heroes. That will make for a quick roast. And Aegis for Malrine.
And I don't want to harp on it too much, but you can imagine also in that instance how different that fight would look if they did have like a golem. Because I think there was like that Tusk wanting to back away, Timber backs away, but you could have Snowball saved. Those abilities wouldn't have hit if you knew that there was like that big, you know, team fight ultimate behind you to go on in for it. But nonetheless, the gold lead's still being held, and they're going to be hunting now. This Nature's Prophet kill, if they could get it, would be really good.
Really good read here from Skitter to not get caught.
Yeah, dodges out of that one.
And that's just a full-on waste of time for the side of Alliance. And yeah, Falcons with some pretty good wards. They have aggressive lane wards top. They have a lane ward mid as well. So moves from Alliance are relatively telegraphed as long as waves are pushed.
Yeah, and even though they show immediately on a ward that was placed down, you can see Alliance not wanting to go for like a TP play to jump the Nature's Prophet. So they're going to instead claim this tier 1 tower on the bottom side of the map. And will try to make a play for maybe the 20-minute Tormentor? Not sure if they want to stick around a whole minute there.
It seems like a long time, but at the same time, the top half of the map is off limits, so kind of have to play somewhere. You see Nande cutting waves, actually missing the timing there on that wave cut, so that's a bit unfortunate for him. Falcons are just keeping this iron grip on the top half. They'll take the top tier 2. They'll look for the Tormentor themselves, probably. And Alliance will do what they can to find farm elsewhere, because they know where they are. Yeah. So look at how they're farming. Mobe's farming close to the Dire base. Skylark is cutting this top wave and then getting out. So they're getting a bit creative with finding ways to farm, knowing what's completely controlled by the Falcon side. And now it's a matter of not getting caught on your way out. Malrine is on the hunt here with an Invis rune. If he finds Nande, this is a free kill. He could solo him, no problem. Oh, no.
Oh, it's right there.
Oh, boy. He is
They're on it. And no chance for a TP out at all.
That's a pretty short TP.
Yeah.
Got cancelled by the storm, killing him after 0.5 seconds.
Yeah, that one hurts. Yeah. I mean, it goes to show how quickly these things can turn around. Game 1, things were looking good.
Skitter,
Game 2,
but
it's been rough. Or Game 3, rather. Yeah. Pikes him away, gets out of there, and Amar just steps in. Gonna drop the boat, Torrent to follow, is going to connect, and now the Snowball, good counterplay here. Wait a minute, is there any chance for anything to happen? No, there isn't. Cinder, and he's dead.
Yeah, just outnumber. Oh, no.
Kidaro. Oh, no. Oh, no, indeed. Does have a golem, but you don't want to drop it here.
It's a numbers problem, right? If you're going to walk up here with these heroes from Alliance, you better bring the numbers. Snaking will die to Fatal Bonds. At the very least, they get one return kill there for Kidaro, but he's dead, so doesn't reap too many benefits from it. Ironically, this is the type of fight that Alliance actually could have wanted, because that's how they activate their Warlock, is to get that high number fight. Skylark not in time to react. He's going to get lassoed, and that's another easy one.
They scanned there to make sure that nobody was stealing the Wisdom Rune, and then immediate TP back from the two of them.
Yeah.
Jump forward, though.
Okay.
Nande, it's the snipe onto crit. Does he get out of here, though?
He did it with his shard activated, so he did jump forward.
Tries to get out, tries to escape. Not going to happen. Malrine on him again. Oh, man. Sen, this is looking really, really rough now for Alliance.
Yeah. You're right about that.
Malrine
The good news is...
Yeah?
It's dash TPK.
Oh, God.
The good news is, no matter how this series goes for Alliance, I think... I have a feeling that if they lose this game, which looks very likely right now, I think they'll still finish the day with the hits held high, knowing that, as we talked about, this is a Swiss format where you need to get those 3 wins, and this is arguably one of the hardest opponents, if not the hardest, you can face.
Right.
And you won a game, and you played your stuff, and you played with confidence in all of the games. Despite losing, I still feel like they don't feel completely lost. I think they have a purpose on the map, how they're playing. They are getting outplayed, and make no mistake, this is a very one-sided affair. Mobe will die here, but I think for the most part, they're doing some of the right things here. Now, this smoke I do fundamentally quite disagree with, so maybe I'll take back my previous statement.
Just about to expire. A chance, a golem, everything used. Perfect combination, isn't enough. No! The shield rune run away, but maybe Nande, he wants Malrine so bad. Fatal Bonds kill. Get him. No. It's not gonna happen. He's left to the side. They don't have the damage, and now the lasso comes in. Going to find a couple more kills there as they head on out.
Oh, that would have been such a huge one for Alliance to finally get the storm there. Not happening. Ooh. Nice cleave on Kidaro. Amar.
Got him.
X mark.
Easy peasy. And it's gonna go back in for the style. Jeez.
Yeah. Now, the thing that Alliance haven't managed to do, which in all fairness is very difficult when the game state is like this, they haven't really found a 5v5, right? So this fight that they just had mid, that seemed pretty close. There was no Timbersaw. They're getting picked apart because Falcons are pushing out the side lanes so aggressively and so fast that it's very difficult for Alliance to make successful smoke moves with multiple heroes that are really 5 heroes is what they want, because they want to use their Warlock combination together with Timber and ideally a Wukong's command, but it's so hard to find it when all the initiative is on the enemy team and they're constantly creating fires that you need to put out all over the map, non-stop aggression, which isn't... I mean, half the aggression is kills, the other half is just waves. Skylark gets found and gets killed.
Easy move in, and they bring him down as well. Yeah, it's, I mean, they're definitely closing this game out in style. There's no doubt about that. Know exactly what they need to do to make this happen, and this is starting to look like many of the other Falcons games that we had kind of come to expect. You know, Ali had mentioned that, you know, they had come on in, didn't have that much time to practice all together as a crew, but you wouldn't know it from these games. This third game here in particular has looked very clean. As another dead Kidaro, and they're gonna lasso pull in the Tusk. Snaking drops down the cogs. The snowball's not quite going to get him out of there, and fully encapsulated in pain now onto the tier 3 towers. Falcons just looking too good.
Yeah, and this glyph is honestly a bit mistimed because there's now a second wave coming in. If they would have held this a little longer, they could have killed 2 waves simultaneously. Now instead, there's a full wave here for Falcons to just keep this push going. Amar, just being a nuisance, not going to commit on this whatsoever. Doesn't have the tidal wave. Went for a Yule's instead. Interesting.
Monkey wrapping around. Hoping to find an angle. Find a right target. Jump forward. Malrine is there TPing out. They Managed to X pull him back in. Now the fight's continuing. Kunkka down to almost completely dead. Do they have enough to burst him in time? Yes, they do. He got the boat off, though. Now Snowball on to Skitter. Obey tries to run forward onto the rest of these heroes here. The Golem finally comes out. Fatal Bonds on the fort, and the big hit from Skylark and Sade. They take him out.
Okay.
They're still down 15,000 gold, but when something good happens, you gotta celebrate. Alliance can't quite get onto crit. Whip him, get him, take him out.
Can't reach.
Oh, it's not quite gonna be enough. Still chasing, wanting
Follow
this
the
kill
fire.
desperately. Wants to get
You
after
might
him.
actually get him with a boundless here.
And he's still invis. They don't have detection. A bounty rune's hunting.
No, not
They won't be able to get him.
Okay, well, that was Alliance's first good fight of the game.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
No, not like this.
Now it's not as good.
Oh, man.
Now it's even worse.
That's really rough. Can't you just have nice things? Man. Well, just when you thought the galvanized stacks were going away, that's back up to 22. My God.
Oh, Snake King's also going to find Kidaro here.
Donk, 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 donk.
And that should
Now
be an
Rain.
easy pick for him.
He's going to get in on the action. Is he?
Actually, wait, there's a wave. Nope, never mind. It's killed by Prophet.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So, all right, so the highlight of this fight, Alliance finally get to bring 5 heroes together. They finally get to combo some spells, and they get to be the ones initiating and setting the terms of the fight. And I think their target selection of killing Kunkka first is perfect. You want to get this guy out of the fight for 2 reasons. First of all, you want to remove the ghost ship from the fight. And secondly, you want to remove his Yules so that Timbersaw can use his reactive armor eggs. That's the reason Amar bought this Yules. I feel like the primary one is just to dispel this crucial ability from Timber. But with the Kunkka out of play, Mobe could keep chasing and build that fight up with Fatal Bonds and get the damage out. The problem is, can you get it a second time over? So here you see the jump. They immediately drop everything onto the Kunkka. He drops super low, gets the boat off, but dies instantly, so...
And look at this, the total health that Falcons have when the Fatal Bonds comes in is still insane, but it just drops like a rock off the back of this.
Yeah.
Huge hits coming through and just obliterated. But that's what those big spells do.
Yep. But you could really tell in that fight as well that Mobe got to play aggressively and with confidence because Kunkka was dead. He just charged into 3 heroes with his reactive armor running, and they can't really kill through that barrier. So, nicely done there from Alliance. But as you said, actually, I don't know if you said this.
I did say it.
But is it too little too late?
Yeah, I definitely said
You
that.
said that.
No, I didn't.
Loda definitely said that he hates AUI
That's right.
with a passion. I heard it from Slacks.
He would never lie.
Very, very trustworthy guy.
That's right. Well, Amar hitting buildings. He's just tired of it. Wants to end this day off with a 2-0 opening.
That's going to be hard, but maybe he can get a 2-1.
With the Swiss group stage.
Okay,
a
good recovery.
2-0 opening.
Maybe that was what you were going for.
It's fine. I just
can have
didn't
it.
make it clear.
So it's good. It's good enough.
Yeah. Oh, BKB would be a good answer there for the Yule Scepter. That'll be nice.
Yeah.
Likewise, I just think in general now, the burst is going to be much less likely on that Kunkka too, because he also has a BKB.
Yeah, he's a hard target now. I mean, still, if they do manage to find the setup that they just did, I think the fight looks similar. Well, they're trying.
Okay, I cast a curse that one again. He's dead. No
nice.
BKB used.
They used everything, though. That
They
was
really
Monkey Ult
did.
and Golem and
You gotta tip him.
Stampede.
Like, tips are hard to find in this series right now, and I feel like you gotta get some good ones in.
I don't know if that was good enough for Alliance. I feel like when Amar respawns, they can just push high ground.
Yeah, probably.
No Golem and no Wukong. I guess the Wukongs will be ready pretty much when he reconnects, but at the same time, you also have to go for something like this, right? You can't just let the opponent control the map, so you have to look for plays. It's just unfortunate for Alliance that they have to drop this much stuff to kill the Kunkka, but I genuinely think all of it was needed. Maybe except the Stampede. Monkey King, not going to find the connection. Oh, Centaur well, though.
That is nice. This is the other way to do it. If Kunkka's dead for a while, if you can start staggering these kills,
All right.
find pickoffs, this is huge. Relatively speaking.
Could be the start of something. We love ourselves some hyperbole, so 2 huge kills.
Yeah.
Well, that's... Gotta start small. All right. Gabe Newell watched TI3, so he knows Alliance can get this done.
That's right.
24% of the time.
Every time.
Those 24% were back in 2013.
Okay. I mean, honestly, I'm a little shocked at how high of a percentage it is.
Yeah, me too. I was not expecting that. Mobe, BKB TP out. No lasso in range.
Did he not have the 20, the leash for Skitter? I guess it... I don't remember if that still works or not through BKB.
It doesn't work through BKB.
Okay.
I'm going to say with 100% confidence and hope I'm right. I'm pretty sure that was one of the changes.
Well, he didn't use it. He's a pro player, so he would know.
Yeah.
Never seen that messed
The
up
pros
before.
don't ever make mistakes.
No, that's why they're pros.
Yeah, it's part of the contract you sign when you join an org is I will not make mistakes.
That's a Crimson Guard done so they can protect their buildings. Which
1 minute Aegis, Skitter, the absolute artillery cannon. Just going to work.
Oh,
Good counterplay.
nice, nice. Gets the punch. He was still away, though, on crit. Now, Gleipnir. Zippy wants to get it. BKB out in time. Kadaro in trouble, and Kadaro going to die.
Buyback Golem.
Do they want to fully commit for this? Falcons respecting the buyback.
Yeah, this is actually a very playable situation for the Radiant. You got to be a little bit careful as Falcons to not overextend. You have 2 heroes on half health.
I'm remembering
Monkey
back to
kick,
that Pudge game.
crit.
He finds him and he kills him.
Oh, that's a really good start. They could chase this.
And now Stampede forward, already dead on Skitter. He's out of there. Can they get any more? Skylark being a bulwark in front of all of them. They haven't bought back yet on Warlock, and I mean, I don't know if they're even going to be able to. No, he can't get there in time. They're dead on 2 more. Oh, what was looking good before now starts to look really unfortunate.
Maybe Kadaro felt like his buyback would be irrelevant because he couldn't connect to the team, but honestly, I think he could have bought back TP'd and then run over there and built that into a bigger fight. When the bat buys back after Monkey can kills him, I think you have to respond in turn immediately, and then if Falcons back out, you traded buybacks, right? But the alternative is this, where you lose the fight, Falcons get it for free, and you lose a lane. This felt avoidable, and I really don't blame the rest of Alliance for chasing there. Killing the bat and having an open fight out in the middle of the lane sounds really good for their team. But yeah, that was just not the way to do it. Either you don't chase and you take the bat kill and you're happy, and you say, awesome, we got the bat. Or if you chase and they buy back, you have to match. It's just that simple.
They are,
Amar.
oh, they had him under vision. Now Shard gets him blocked off. The boat is there. It's going to take some time, but they might be able to get this. Thinking about the hunt, the second ship goes through. Now the tidal wave. They get him with the Gleipnir. Continuing to chase. The rest of the team is over on the other side of the map, but they're on top of Amar now, and well, he's already slowed down to relatively low HP, and I think he's just going to be dead.
Oh,
as Skylark is onto him.
For that. Okay. Seems a bit excessive, but they get the kill.
Storm underneath a ward still, but recognizing the danger, will back out now. Had regen and amp bottled.
I'm over here. Looking for me?
Even though it's down like 15, 18K, you can still see these like little signs of life and moments where like something could work. Ooh, buddy.
Okay, Malrine wants to keep going. This is a long chase, but profit.
I mean, they have a lot of ways to try and stay alive here, but the Sprout is just too good in the end, and Stampede can't keep him alive. The rest of the team was coming over to fight that.
You gotta wonder if there's a merit to just getting a Quelling Blade here instead of your Windlace on the Centaur. It feels like...
Nande?
Well, I guess with the...
He's getting ready to fight this. If they're coming in, but they find him immediately!
No BKB on him.
And Snowball, where's the save? They pull him in, now forward. Rock to follow. Catch, it's on to Clock, but that is not good enough. And now Malrine is really low. Okay. Wait a minute, never mind. Oh boy, he did some good damage to take out Malrine. The unfortunate problem is that the rest of his team is dead.
That's still possibly gonna hold mid. The mid wave is pushing the other way. Amar is going to start dealing with it now, though, but Mobe feeling confident that he can't die here. We'll try to take care of the wave step by step.
I mean, it's a lot of damage coming from Skitter, and the Treant, it's really hard to contend with this. You're back up again on Centaur now. They're just trying to hold their base, extend this game out longer, hoping that they can make something work. With double catapult, you got to show yourself at some point here. Got him caught for the moment on the Timber. Cuts it all out. Now hookshot in, snaking, hitting him. Abe moves through, down to very low HP. Gonna pop the BKB, pop the Aghanim Scepter. Now Desire in forward. How much damage can they do onto the rest of these heroes? Amar is somewhat low. Snaking finally goes down there. Desire still on the hunt. The rest of Alliance is up and online. As they chase, it can't quite get him there.
That's such a big escape.
Amar is still being hunted, but I don't think they're going to be able to get him either.
A kill on Skitter there could have given Alliance a potential Roche, so that is huge. Oh, and they even lose their middle melee barracks to the last shot from the siege creep.
Oof.
So that's 2 full lanes now for the side of Falcons. They will also take a Tormentor, get a free shard for Skitter, so Curse of the Old Growth, it adds up.
And no clockwork for 25.
Yeah, they can't really do anything meaningful with this, though. The Roche isn't respawning for another 20. And at that time, you would imagine that Falcons are pretty well reset. I imagine we'll see Amar with a little bit of an X-mark heal here.
Yeah, definitely
Seems like the time to do it.
Look at the imps. They're after him. Still has his
Nice
shield
little
right.
map hack imps here.
Yeah. Rest of the team on the hunt.
He's going to stay up here. When this barrier, when the shield rune expires, Amar is actually a pretty easy kill if he doesn't reset.
I mean, this would be such a big Aegis for them to get. It's also the Aghanim Scepter, which starts to meaningfully cut into the lead. So if Alliance can manage to win a fight with what they have right now, you can see a world where things start to feel a little better. Centaur is not here with them, though. And
Moby's going to break the smoke.
Timber right through and dead!
Holy!
They got him. Now looking for more. Amar, he's in trouble. Chase, chase, chase. How much more can they do, though? It looks like, well, Ande's still chasing after him. They have buyback on Storm. If he buys back and gets into this fight, it'd be big. Storm is going in for this one. They try and pull him away, keeping Amar alive for the moment. The jump forward. Maureen on to Nande. They've already taken down Amar, though, trying to live, but look at the deeps coming in onto this monkey. But the glimmer and the save. It's enough. And now Snaking is going to die again, maybe? It doesn't look like they have it. Kadaro running in like a madman. Aggressively pressuring forward. Okay, getting some vision.
Okay. He's going to live?
He's
okay.
He knows how the limits of his hero. What can I say?
Yeah. He was like, hey, you guys want a gem? And they did, but
wow.
And chase him down. That was, okay, that's pretty promising for Alliance that they get that such a quick burst. And getting the buyback, Clockwork just out of position here. Snaking.
Found. If they could finish him, that would be really nice. Yes.
So.
Got to get this Roche.
Alliance have a very clear-cut path now to blowing this game wide open, which is kill the Storm again. Forcing Malreen's buyback and still getting a good fight out of this, and now an Aegis is absolutely huge for them.
And an Aegis with Aghanims. Like, look at how much this lead is going to go down if they can manage to finish this in time, which I think they do.
Now, who do you give the Ags?
I don't know.
Monkey King or Centaur? Because I genuinely think there's some serious merit to getting the card in this game.
But who, I mean, is it even that good with these heroes?
Let's see. Nande has picked it up so far. Not swapped it in just yet. I don't know if they're discussing it. They're not getting it on Tusk because he bought his own. So they'll have the kick for the coming fight as well. Monkey will consume it. So they will just get that extra soldier spawn and more damage for him.
I mean,
it's the stable and safe choice. There's just, I think in this game there's merit to getting the card, right? If you think about how Falcons approach fights, it's Blink Lasso, it's Storm jumping in on people. If Centaur could just Blink save them, that could be something.
That's fair. I like that idea.
They'll go for the stable and safer choice, which is fine.
I also, I can't help but wonder if this game is just going to end up with a situation where, you know, you get ratted by Nature's Prophet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's only one melee Rax that's left alive right now. Obviously, you can play against Megas, but it starts to feel really rough. I don't know. I'm worried about that. The 25 talent for Timbersaw that he chose, the Whirling Death Tree increase.
I kind of feel like we're at a point now where that is how Falcons win.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're far enough ahead anymore to win the fights head on.
And look at these trees.
The 13k lead is not that insurmountable 41 minutes, and especially when you consider how the gold is distributed, right? Yeah, it's a mega farm profit, but he's capped more or less now.
They need to buy Dagons, actually. I think they need to deal with these trees. 4,600 HP, and like they will take the racks eventually.
Yeah.
I feel like support Dagon might be a thing.
There it comes.
Look at the inevitability, just the madness in its eyes. It's going to come take your racks. There's nothing you can do about it.
Here comes Gunther.
Who's Gunther?
Kick him away.
What is
Gunther the Greater Treant.
Okay.
Well, he didn't hit that time.
No.
He does look quite spooky, warming up here for Halloween.
That's right.
Those Treants. But yeah, you're absolutely right. It's going to be a lot of work for Alliance to try to deal with these Treants, and it probably is what Skitter just wants to do to win this game, is to keep splitting them up, forcing them back, and then maybe you can get a man advantage in a fight and get a 5v4 because somebody has to defend against your Treants eventually.
I'll tell you, I've played enough games with Jenkins. I know how this ends.
I'm so sorry for you.
There's a moment where it's just, I'm not fighting anymore. It's not going to happen.
I think the way this ends is Nature's Prophet has fun and nobody else.
Yes.
Right? That's how it usually ends, yeah. I think it makes a lot of sense. Now that techies got changed, I think Jenkins looked for what is the other hero that I can be the biggest piece of shit on that is left in the pool.
Take some notes, Slacks.
True, Slacks should probably just learn to play Prophet. There you go.
I mean, they are literally just staying on the other side of the map. And look at, they have to stay here. Like, all of until they get a Dagon, they can't deal with it.
But I don't know if they're going to get that idea. I don't think they have the same experience you do dealing with this.
All right.
They haven't been in this game state so much, but I'm on board with it. But nobody's queuing up Dagon for their side right now.
And when this hits, it's going to hurt. I mean, they're in backdoor right now, but like you can see, the creeps are not going to deal with this Treant. Like, it has 4,000 HP. It's just not happening. And yeah, nobody's dealing with it.
Oh my God, it hits hard.
It's gonna kill it. Like, honestly, Amar is there, but like another one's coming in. Get your Dagons. It's gone, bros. You're megas.
What?
You're megas. Look at it. It's too strong.
Dude,
I told you. I told you. You need a Dagon. It's too strong.
Wow, that's got to be so infuriating.
There's another one coming. Listen, this is how this game ends. It's death by 1,000 little pricks. Look at how strong they are. And the other thing is, like, look at how much gold you get for killing it. 22.
Nice.
All right, and now you're stuck here again. Stampede.
They did not find the opening, and that was Wukong's. But this doesn't really feel like it's about the heroes anymore.
No.
If a wave reaches the base now, I think he gets megas.
The problem is...
Yep, there we go.
Yeah.
TP'd in behind.
Oh, it's going.
So
it's
dirty.
going. They're done.
There are many ways of winning a game of Dota.
Gives it the smile.
Now,
Very happy.
this game is not over. Nature's Prophet has a tendency to... It's one of the hardest heroes in the game to play against when you're Mega'd, because there's always the split push pressure. He's always going to push in your lanes. He's always going to look for an angle to hit the buildings. But the silver lining now for Alliance is, at this point, now the whole worry of we need to protect our racks is kind of out of the way. So now you can just ball up and stand as a full group in front of your tier 4s and play the waiting game. And eventually Falcons at some point will try to win this game. But when will they do it? Will they wait for the next Aegis? Will they wait for tier 5 neutral items? You know, I mean, it's an oversimplified version of way of looking at the game, because obviously fights can happen and you can look for skirmishes and whatnot, but essentially,
Dude.
in terms of theory, Falcons can do that. They can just wait.
I think that they're just going to keep sending these treants in. And the other problem that you run into with this is that, like, everybody is just farming up to get 6 slotted. They've gained another, like, what, 7,000 net worth over the period
Yeah,
of this
I can farm
time.
the whole map in the meantime.
Because they don't have a way to deal with it with just one hero until they buy Dagons. And the problem that you're going to run into is you can never make a meaningful move with just like 1 or 2 heroes.
Dude, you're so right, and nobody's queuing it up. I just genuinely think Alliance don't know.
Yeah.
This is the solution, and don't get the idea.
I mean, a Midas also does work, but obviously
long
limited.
cooldown.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not the solution. So what's the cooldown on level 1 Dagon?
It's like 40 seconds, or no, it's less than that.
It's way less, right? It's like 20-something, I think. 27?
Yeah. Jump forward, stampede, kill the clockwork.
So 27-second cooldown on Dagon, and the cooldown on Nature's Call is 20.
Yeah.
So I guess if you want to counter every single treant spawn with Dagon, you need Dagon level... How does the cooldown reduce again?
It keeps going down as you level it up.
Yeah, but how much?
I don't remember. I'll let you look that up, Louis. I mean, we're not even casting... Oh, wait, maybe we are casting this game. They find him, Malrine goes for the BKB
close.
zip
He'll
out.
live. But the reason we're not talking too much about the fights is that they're
This
not...
is literally what's happening now.
The treants are the game right now.
Yeah.
It's them. That is the problem. It's not the heroes anymore. So it is the problem you need to solve. Okay, so he's going Midas on Tusk. He just... You're positive Dagon. So
Oh, they got it! They got it! They got the Dagons! Let's go! Skylark
There
knows!
it is. All right,
Skylark knows!
to not buy Midas. Yep, he's getting a Dagon. All right.
Let's go! They zip it.
With 2 Dagons, they can kill every treant. Let me just check. So I need to check the cooldown scaling of Dagon here, because I feel like...
Dude, they're so happy that they just figured this out. You see all the voice lines they used? I wonder if I yelled it loud enough.
Does the cooldown really not scale?
Maybe it doesn't.
I feel like it... Huh. I could have sworn it did.
Nope. 27 at all levels.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it anymore. Okay, so... Yeah,
Where's your
they need
Dagon?
2.
They'll have it soon, surely. The other issue, though, is that this is only the beginning. Once you realize how to defend your base, the next problem comes that if a fight happens, you might just get backdoored too.
And there's another problem that could still happen.
What's that?
What if Prophet gets Octarine Refresher?
Oh my god.
What if he just sends more treants than you can Dagon?
You know,
And it becomes an arms race of Dagon against trees.
you're not the only person that's had this idea before, and it's disgusting.
Yep, I hate the fact that I thought of it. Mobe,
They found him.
get some Lotuses.
Does
he
have
needs to be
BKB.
fast. He's dead.
Oh, full chain stun the whole way through.
5 heroes. Made a crucial mistake here, Mobe, which was don't go out of base.
So this is so dirty, because, like, think about how different this game felt when they got the Aegis on Alliance. They were in position, but they have just, on Falcons, completely destroyed any tempo that was built up.
Yep.
All of the momentum is gone, and now Alliance feel like they're in a worse state than they were when they had just gotten Roche.
The thing is, I read on Reddit the other day that mega creeps aren't good enough.
Okay.
So I think that's a problem.
All right.
And that they don't really matter much.
Interesting. I don't fully believe you there.
That I read it or that it's true?
Well, either. I guess that you read it.
Yeah.
It's true is the real one.
I read it and I respectfully disagree that megas don't matter.
Okay. Good. Refresher with Aghanims on Storm Spirit. And an Aghanim Scepter done now for Nature's Prophet too.
Yep.
They will find a torrent onto Kadaro, pull him in, glimmer and walk away.
I still can't help but feel like Falcons aren't gonna look to fight this normally. Well, we'll see. Sprout to break the Lincolns. Okay, maybe they will. Skitter going to work.
I mean, if they don't deal with this, it's gonna fall.
Oh, he didn't kick.
Lasso immediately onto him, and now the pullback onto 2. That's gonna be dead. Kadaro, the boat is down. Death and destruction raining from on high as the throne is exposed. And well, they will Dagon the creep. You got to do more than that to deal with the hero. They move on in, buybacks on everybody, Golem down. How much do they have in the tank? Nande out, trying to get it in with the Wukong's command, but it's not going to be enough. Malrine pops refresher, ready to run in for some more. A good Skylark stun now onto Skitter, finding kill for this pesky Nature's Prophet that is eventually going to go down, but that's only the Aegis. Malrine does die, but immediately buys back into this one. I think the rest of Falcons might end up doing it as well. As the Ancient is exposed, Skitter going to town, hitting it down, no buybacks, and not enough in the tank. Falcons take game